Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. I should probably unmute the cast and get them into the mix. There might be some audio issues here as I'm... Oh, now Cohh's trolling me.
Just a little.
Just a little. I knew, I saw the slight smile. It was given away. I know your game, Cohh. We've been doing it too long. We've been doing it too long. Yeah, too long. You might recognize that that laughter from the giggles, as we call him, from old Dan S. Gaming. He's back from Horror Month. He survived. He got through another.
Yes.
Was this the 10th annual? What number was that? You've been doing it for so long now.
It was number 12, I believe.
Oh Jesus! Okay, you're already
Started
past
on
10.
Justin TV, yeah. So
Yeah.
Wow, you've been doing it since JTV.
Yep.
We've been here too long.
2010,
You don't have
I
any of the
believe, was the first
JTV VODs though, right? Or do you? I know you have some like old VODs, but not like that.
They were
old.
like 360p back then, so they're not really worth, and the audio wasn't great.
That's
Flash
true.
media encoder, it was not.
Oh God, I
Not
remember that
good,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
bad.
whew.
I remember the day XSplit came out, it changed everything.
It really
From-
did. Yeah,
And after then, we got OBS, so it was.
yeah. There was how much
was-
lag
I was in the-
time was there between OBS and XSplit? Like,
I think it was like a year or two before
It was a
OBS
while.
came out.
Yeah. yeah. What were you saying, Zeke?
I was in the Wirecast class.
Oh yeah, Wirecast. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the first Stream Wars. We lived through them. Now we're in the fourth Stream Wars. Now that simulcasting is a thing. I think this is the real Stream Wars now. We'll get to that in just a bit though. Dan, everything go well? Horror Month? Everything all good?
Yeah, other than my sanity was kind of going out the end there, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
too
like
much scary game.
that's the usual,
By the way,
right?
that there's this one game kit that came out called Don't Scream, where
Yes.
you have to watch it, and if you scream, you reset. I was bored the whole time. It didn't even once remotely scare me, make me jump. I was like, these are just terrible scares. They're not even.
Funny that you mentioned that, Dan, because yesterday we were doing Indie Day, and I put Don't Scream on the list, and everybody was like, "This game sucks ass," and I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna throw it up to a vote," and I put a little Twitch poll in the chat. 80% said not worth playing, and I was like, "Okay, wow, all right."
Wow. Yeah, that was definitely YouTuber bait.
Took it out and replaced it.
Huh. It was my chat saying it was just like jump scare simulator, and that was it. It wasn't actually
Yeah.
scary.
Basically, you just walk around, and then random jump scares with no like build up, no anticipation, just pop up. Like usually full like camera ones, or someone runs at you and screams, or I had like the same birds fly at me like 20 times. It was they didn't have enough to last the whole 15 minutes of unique scares. It was pretty rough.
Now, how much of that
Sounds
is
pretty terrible.
Yeah, how much of that is for you being just so desensitized after 30
Probably
days?
a lot. I'm kind of dead inside at the end of 4 months, so I'm like,
Fair
it's
enough.
gotta be a good scare to get me at that point, and they just weren't good.
Yeah. What was the scariest game then you played this month
Ooh.
or this year?
Some of the best ones were a game called Welcome to Kowloon. That one
Oh,
was
yeah.
very terrifying. Very good. That one got me. Oh god, there was a couple others. Let me pull up my list. Towards the end, Fears to Fathom was like they're kind of janky, but they're still fun and scary at the same time. I like that one a lot. That one got me.
What was the name of it? Fears to Fathom?
Fears to Fathom, there's 4 of them. If
Okay.
you ever played the Chilla Art ones, they're kind of like those. Another great one, if you like Christmas horror, was called Crimson Snow. It was about Christmas themed. It's happening at Christmas, but it was a very good horror game. Also, I played Bramble the Mountain King, which was just fantastic. If you have not
Cohh
played
and
that
Zeke
one,
both spoke very highly.
you
about
need to
that.
play that one. It was so good.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of good ones at the beginning. I liked them all.
Do you have
Amnesia the Bunker was pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you have a list of how many games you played? I feel like you're going through a list. I don't know if it's numbered.
Yeah, I pull up my schedule from the list. I'll have to I can count them up, but
Okay.
it was a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Also,
30
if you
days
like
straight.
Phasmophobia, there's one called The Demonologist. That's just like that game, but it's
Can you play that single player?
Yeah, you can
Oh.
play single player. It's just it's harder because you can only carry so many tools at once.
Yeah,
which can make it a bit tougher.
sure.
But
I played that.
Yeah.
if
played
you
about an
don't
hour and a
like
half
getting
of that.
scared too much, playing those with friends makes it much more accessible, a little more. Because I know JP, you don't like just things that just jump scare you constantly.
I just don't like scary things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Funny enough, though, I've gotten through Alan Wake, and I'm pretty proud of that. But I have not finished it, but I've gotten through what I've been told is some of the scarier parts. So I've got my badge of honor this year.
that game's definitely medium to low intensity when it comes to the. Other than the cheap ass jump scares they throw in sometimes, but other than
That's
those,
what I don't like. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
man, they do them well. But yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Like click on a door, boom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Walk through this door, and here's a fucking giant grandmother just staring at you in full screen for really loud noises. Yeah. So that's good. It's
my
nice
favorite
and
part of that was like scary is when you're just walking around in the dark and they're like, wake.
I laugh at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's funny because I start imitating it, and then it just sounds like ridiculous. Because they don't. That part's not that. After you've been in that area for multiple hours, you're just kind of like, shut up, stop saying wake so much. It's not
You've
even
established you know my name, okay? I get it.
yeah. We'll get to Alan Wake soon, but yeah, I'm glad I tried to get you on Horror Month I think 3 times, or tried to get you on Drop Frames during Horror Month, and you're like, no, I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I got to do the Horror Month.
Man.
So,
I'm committed, bro.
yeah. We're glad you're here. And glad that Horror Month was successful.
Thank you very much.
I saw the analytics that you posted on your Zeet. We got to be brand. It's a Zeet now. It's on X.com.
Can we never do that again?
Yeah,
Look, I've gotten the sponsors. That's what they message me now. They say it's not a tweet. Can you do a Zeet? XEET. That's what they're calling it in all the sponsor emails.
I haven't seen a single one of those.
Yeah, I've gotten.
I still got the Twitter.
I still say
And the
Is that official?
Yeah,
Like they've like Elon was like they're called Zeets now.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
If a sponsor
Something
were
like
to
that.
tell me to Zeet something for the sponsorship, I would tell them, nay, I will tweet it. But I will not Zeet.
I responded and
thing.
said, "Look, I'm gonna have to have another couple $100 for that terminology, but you know,
Yeah, that's right. A
I'm on
Zeet will
board."
cost you this much. A tweet will cost you this much. Yes,
Exactly.
Those are 2 different things.
Do I have to say fucking Zeet?
You got to say
Do I have
Zeet.
to say it?
Yep.
No.
XCET. Get it trending. Zeke, welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? How's the? Do you still have COVID? Do you still have symptoms? Did you lose your sense of taste and smell? Like where were we at on the COVID scale?
As far as like the stories go of people who've had it, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably had like a 2 or a 3.
Okay.
Like mine was pretty mild. Like I didn't have a lot of respiratory stuff. It was
Well, that's
mostly
good.
just like body ache and fatigue. Like the fatigue really though, like it just like I don't want to get up or do anything because everything is exhausting.
Yeah.
Like I walked out of the kitchen to get some water or juice or whatever, and then I walked back to the bedroom, and like by the time I hit the door, I'm like, what? I didn't even do stairs or anything. I walked to my kitchen and back to my bedroom.
Yeah. So it knocked you out for. You were streaming Wednesday or Thursday. It was about 2 or 3 days that knocked you out, right?
Yep, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because my wife had it. Katie had it 2 days ahead of me, and I'm like, ha, you got it. I didn't say that, of course, but I was just like that.
I was gonna say that's why you're now single, and also why you caught COVID. Funny enough, because she was standing over you while you slept and just coughing into your nose. It's your fault.
That's what she's doing. Yep, she plugged my nose and was just like,
Yeah, exactly. That's your fault.
No, she had it 2 days before me, so I felt fine, and then Thursday night it started to creep in, And you know that like the difference your body has, like when you go from well to sick,
Yeah.
there's that one like indication, and you're like, oh, no, damn it. So I I like spent Thursday night, like my fever, like I got a little bit of a fever, just kept going up and up.
Yeah.
And I woke up and she looked at me and I looked at her and I went, I'm sick. And she went, and just weakly smiled at me. So I'm like, oh God.
Misery
So
loves
it was
company.
like,
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you this though. The dogs elated. They
Oh,
loved it.
yeah,
It was
that's
the best
true.
4 days of their fucking life because they got to hang out with mom and dad in bed like for 4 straight days. They didn't even, they went out to go outside and then crawled back up in bed with us and just
Yeah.
sat there while we ordered food and watched everything
Everything we
literally
could.
that we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were some of the headliners of your COVID watch?
We started Generation V. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Or Gen V,
Gen V, I think.
whatever it is, the boys spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. We watched a lot of horror. Watch
Okay.
a lot of like I think we watched like all the Insidious movies, which are like it's like the first Insidious is pretty good, and then the rest of them are just like progressively worse.
That's kind of like horror movies. The more numbers you add on to them, they just get worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I watched all the Saw movies again just because they're just
That's a
dumb
lot.
fun.
That's like 12 movies.
Yeah. Watch
Love
those. Yeah. I think we watched a couple of we watched the new Morgan Freeman nature documentary type show on Netflix.
Between the saws.
Between the saws, yeah, to spice it up.
Yeah,
a little bit.
exactly.
Yeah. I saw the Netflix was like, this is tangent, but I saw they were tweeting out for promo of that show, but it was outtakes of Morgan Freeman as he was like seeing this stuff for the first time.
God.
And I thought it was real. So Morgan Freeman had like a creature came on the screen. He's like, oh, the blah, blah, blah of the cell. What the hell is that? I was like, is that the real show? Because I want to see that. I don't want to see the scientific. I just want to see Morgan Freeman freaking out over animals on screen. But it was not, apparently. It's him doing his David Attenborough business on it all. So, yeah. Yeah, the giant squid is 12 meters. Jesus Christ, that thing's big. I think we're like the actual dialogue for that. That was on, I think, like the Netflix Geeked Twitter, if you want to try to find that. But
okay.
Yeah. Cohh, you feeling better? Are you all back to Nope? You still...
Yeah, I'm still dealing with whatever I
really
have.
Did you take any medication, go to the doctor? Did you do anything about it, or are you doing the man thing?
Just doing the man thing. I have taken 3 COVID tests from 2 different companies. They've all been negative, so it's not COVID.
Okay.
Never had a fever though.
Okay.
But it's just been like lung tightness, coughing stuff up every morning.
Oof.
Congestion and stuff up here. So
not a good good time.
Dr. Chat is convinced that it's walking pneumonia.
That's yeah.
You know,
it could be.
Could be whatever.
You should go to a doctor. They can they diagnose and help you with that. That's what they're there for.
Or they could just tell me that it's, to go home and deal with it.
Oh man, you sound like my wife. That's my wife. I don't want to go to the doctor. They're just gonna tell me to take some Tylenol and go home. No, God damn it. I hate people.
If it's viral, they're like, we can't do much. You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, that's what they Strippin, a friend of the show, we've had him on a ton of times. He had a chest infection or something like that. Like he had this kind of the same symptoms that you do, Cohh. And he finally went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, it's turned viral, so you can't really do anything. So just bear with it. And he's been sick for like 3 weeks now. So might be the same thing, which I hope is not true. Yeah. Yeah. Tough
Last
times.
3 Twitch cons I went to, I came back with a 3-week chest cold that lasted a long time. The worst part about going to cons is when you get sick.
Yeah.
But it's worth it for those just like 2 days of magic, like just hanging out with people for those 2 days and seeing all the people that you like and never meet in person. But then, 3 weeks afterwards is kind of rough.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of being sick. So, Well,
So Dan, actually brings up a question from me, Dan. Are you like ever going to TwitchCon again, seeing as Horror Month is in October and TwitchCon's in October?
I did last year. I just took a break and could.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I had to go because of my Twitch contract, but
right.
I don't know. People said this one was but people, especially like Cohh, said that this one was like different from all the previous ones, and it's worth going again. So I'm going
see. Again next year for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
We will see what happens with all that. Let's jump to the news. We got some news from the past week. Not super happy news though, I suppose. We can kind of start with the Bungie stuff. They had some layoffs, and man, it just kind of spiraled from that point. They laid off about 100 people, is what I was told. They delayed, or what I read, sorry. They delayed the final shape, which is kind of their like big hurrah for Destiny 2. They also pushed back Marathon, which was their newly announced like Tarkov thing. That's now 2025. Final shape is just somewhere later in 2024. And then like the actual process of the layoffs was the big point of conversation. And no one was happy. Essentially, the community started doing mass refunds of the final shape. And that like, I think it was such a significant pushback that Bungie even was like, they put out a PR thing that it was your bullshit PR statement of like, we hear you guys, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna try to do all this stuff. But yeah, they didn't do that well with it because the community is still, Destiny community is never really happy. They're really, really not happy at this point. Some of the other folks there was a ton of folks that were laid off. There's 100, like I said. But some of the like bigger names, the composer, the like co-composer who wrote,
dude, there were articles
the Halo music
about that.
Yeah,
Dude.
There
are a lot of people that are like, "What are you thinking doing this?"
Michael,
this is like part of the soul of Destiny.
Yeah, longtime composer Michael Salvatore was laid off, and like, if you've played Destiny or even the old Halos, like he was involved with all of those tracks, and so people were very upset about that. They had a lot of community folks that were let go, and it came out. There was when Sony acquired Bungie like 18 months ago, I think they said there was a post that was like, yeah, we're not planning on layoffs or anything like that. It's not going to happen. Cut to now, 18 months later, people were laid off. Sony got a lot of the blame, but Bungie came out and said Sony had nothing to do with this. This was all Bungie. We missed a bunch of internal goals in terms of sales and whatnot, and so we had to cut back.
It was weird because there was a lot of misinformation.
There was a lot. Yeah.
At first, when it first happened, everyone was like, "Oh God, Sony, you assholes! What were you thinking? You acquired this company, then fired a bunch of people." And then Bungie said, "No, we're the ones that chose who got fired. It was us who chose who got fired." And then it came out later where it's like, "Okay, so you chose who got fired, but who told you had to fire people?" And they were like, "Yeah, it was Sony that did that." So it's like,
nice. Okay.
So yeah, Jason, I think it was Jason Schreier and another major news journalist were like going back and forth.
Paul Tassi,
Paul Tassi. Yeah, like trying to figure out what was actually going on, and I don't think they ever did. Like I don't know what the final link in that chain was.
Yeah. I don't know if it was ever.
But yeah, they had lost. Sony had been public about the fact that they were not happy that they had lost like 45% projections of profit and everything, and before the mass cancellation of pre-orders.
Yeah.
So it's not good.
Not a good spot.
Twitter was awash with a lot of terrible vibes.
Absolutely.
Not only from people who had left, but people that were there were people that were still at Bungie tweeting at Bungie telling them how terrible they were.
Well,
just like my lord, man.
God, there was a tweet from the CEO at Bungie, Pete Parsons, that effectively and now this post has been removed, at least from the source that I'm reading it from, which this Reddit post, but I think it was leaking to an article where it said that they kept, quote, the right people to work on Destiny 2, and it's like, why the fuck are you saying that? Like,
Yeah, that's like the worst thing you
What
can
do
say
you-
after
time.
layoffs.
you don't like
'Cause then
fire
you-
a bunch of people and be like,
And
yeah,
insinuating that every single one of the people they let go was not needed for the project,
yeah,
including the person that wrote the music. It's like, how could you?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Anyway.
salt
What-
in the wounds of losing
What
their
a
job.
big
Awful.
middle finger to all the people you just laid off, like that have been working on your game for years. Just
Yeah,
no respect at all.
yeah.
The one of the things that I thought was interesting about the musician though is I don't know if it's public if he was actually done with the score. Like
Oh.
somebody said that he was one of the people fired because he had done his work, laid off, I should say.
Sure.
But then someone else was like, no, he wasn't done with the score. So it's kind of like, what, again, just weird situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Timing of
But
it.
that was another thing. That was another thing that was said, is that a lot of the people that were laid off may have been done with their work on Final Shape. So because they had to push it back, and so they did their work, they got laid off because they were no longer needed.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, it's a bad situation. But then
Yeah.
they delayed it and had that weird message about like the player. What was it? Maybe Chad can help me. What was the message they said about
The
the reason
Bungie
they were
post?
delaying Final Shape? It basically insinuated that if it was up to them, they would have released it like in this weird
They said, yeah.
state, but like because of the player feedback, we want it to be great or something.
Here, I'll pull it up and read it. You're talking about the R path forward.
I think
post?
so.
Yeah.
Let me. Yeah, this
It
this may be
said,
it, yeah.
to us, the path forward is clear. We need to make Final Shape an unforgettable Destiny experience. We want to build something that will be regarded alongside the best games we've ever made, a fitting culmination of the honors journey we've been together on for the past 10 years. Forsaken the Witch King and Taken King, these are the standard bearers we aim to live up to. We're intensely focused on exceeding our expectations for the Final Shape. Destiny 2 has more than 650 dedicated teammates pouring all their energy and expertise in delivering the epic moments in subsequent episodes. I mean, it's all just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
PR stuff.
It's like, what does this do? Right? All this does is just pour fire on, or pour fuel onto the fire. Because they don't say anything in this except like,
Yeah.
please trust us. Please buy our stuff. It's really, really rough.
I haven't played Destiny too much, but I know like people that I know played a lot, like Cathalion and Broman and stuff. Like they've just been kind of bored of Destiny. It's just even them, the big fans, are just kind of growing. It's growing stale. They're not really keeping the expansions aren't really living up to the hype they're building up. So it seems like it's been a long thing coming.
Yeah,
from the game.
A slow fizzle of the franchise.
Yeah. It's been
Besides
it's been
that,
rough to
unfortunately.
go back to. I play a
Well, wasn't
decent amount
that-
of it, but
Wasn't that something we said, like when Destiny first came out? I think we were still maybe doing. No, we weren't doing a show then, were we? Have we been on that long?
when Destiny
Maybe we
2
were talking
came
about
out,
it
maybe.
after it. No, Destiny 2 for sure. But like, I remember having a discussion. I swear to God, it was with you guys about Destiny 1 and them saying that they had a 10-year plan for it, and we were like, that's pretty ambitious to have a 10-year plan for a game, and fuck, they're almost there.
The 10-year thing I don't think was announced at launch because Destiny 1 came out 2014 and we did our first show in 2015. September 2014 for Destiny, January 8th for us, 2015. So I think that like 10-year plan was something they said after launch, but yeah.
No, because I remember I personally scoffed at it. I was like, okay. I mean, it has happened, but it's really rare that a game keeps coming out with expansions and stuff like that all relate to the original main base game and stuff like that. And it's just it's kind of amazing that they've lasted this long.
Yeah. I mean, the game has cool stuff in it. It just for the hardcore. It's a long discussion that we don't need to get into, especially if I'm the only person spouting off because I'll probably get things wrong. We need someone like Cathalion or Broman or any of the Destiny folk to kind of to give the full spiel there. But yeah, not a good week for Destiny. I think it's safe to say everyone would agree with that. Not a good week for Bungie.
Not a good week for Bungie.
Yeah, it's tough times. The layoffs also happened on the 30th. Of October, and so like I think that means benefits ended on the 31st for all the people that were let go. So that's that's awful. Anyone that was let go probably didn't get any of the money from that Sony acquisition as well, because that stuff is usually
that was the
amount of
part that
time.
was all over Twitter.
Yeah.
So like, because the shares didn't, because of some
yeah.
business mechanism, the shares didn't invest, so they went back to Sony or Bungie, I think is the company they went back to. But
right.
Yeah. That's if that turns out to be accurate, that is
it's that's
horrible.
Depending on how the contracts were set up, that's pretty common. For that, if you're let go, you don't have your stuff vest. And yeah, not good at all. So I'm sure that story will continue to develop into next week. I don't think it's necessarily done, especially given how like volatile I think that community is towards Bungie and towards the game itself. They'll continue to dig for all that stuff, and we'll most likely get more on the ultimate end of it. So not a good time for Bungie, like we said. I think is a great way to kind of bookmark that discussion and see where it goes from here. What else has been going on? BlizzCon happened on Friday, wrapped up yesterday. It was a very interesting
seem
BlizzCon.
Relatively optimistic.
Yeah, if you played WoW, so I watched the opening ceremony. I watched a good chunk of day one. I didn't watch that much of day two. If you played World of Warcraft, or if you play World of Warcraft, it's great. You're having a great time. If you play anything else, BlizzCon was weird. Like, they had an opening ceremony and they basically just came out and read patch notes for the current season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then like the Overwatch 2 segment was what they brought out first. And it was like 30 minutes of them talking about a singular hero. And that's it. That's all it was. But then like WoW came out and Metzen, Chris Metzen, who had left Blizzard a couple years back, it was already announced that he had been working on stuff at Blizzard, and like BlizzCon is, at least my memories of it, is Metzen working that stage. And I think if you've never seen that, he's one of those guys that just oozes charisma, and no matter what he says, you want to play whatever he's doing. Not taking into account like the writing from his era, which I think is a larger discussion in terms of if it's good or bad. But him on stage, he's a fucking rock star. Like, I thought they were gonna lead the entire show with him walking out on stage. And they actually saved him for kind of the end. And in retrospect, I actually understand why. And it's because you can't follow Metzen. Like, he's the star. If anyone followed Metzen, they would look like shit. So they started out and like their CEO, current CEO came out and like he was fine. Phil came out on stream and like he was Phil, right? Like they had Phil there and like talking about the Xbox acquisition, all that stuff. Then he had all the different developers. Metzen came on and it was a fucking rock show. Like it was incredible.
It was really, really rough during the Hearthstone and the Rumble sections because the audience, they would say stuff and they would stop for applause and there'd be nothing. They'd be cutting to the audience who were just sitting there like bored. You hear like one guy and they're like, woo, yay, dual Hearthstone. But once Metzen came out there, that place exploded. Everyone was cheering and yelling, and it was just, the crowd was alive again. It was great.
Yeah. And I would think these days, most people that go to BlizzCon are WoW players. Like that's their main draw for a place like that. Zeke, what were you gonna say?
So I think they would benefit, like, and this is a fucking bunch of companies would benefit from having like consulting with like stand-up comedians and stuff like that about crowd work, about how to get people like on your side. Do I wait for laughter or do I not wait for laughter? Like, do I do this? Do I do that? Like, what can I do to make sure that the crowd is with me and shit like that? And I've often thought of like, what would I do if Twitch went belly up or whatever? Like, I would try to do that. Like, I think I could be like a sick ass hype man because of.
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I agree with you that all the people that were on stage definitely had media training, but they didn't have stand in front of a bunch of gamers training. Like that's a different breed. And like Spencer understands how to do that, and Medicine definitely understands how to do that. And everyone else just kind of like reads from a prompter. They have like, they read well, they pause for the proper things, but it just doesn't work in front of like a gamer audience. It's kind of like if you got like the people that do the Apple events, it's them but with a live audience, and so it just doesn't like they're not factored into those people speaking. But the second Medicine comes out or the second Phil comes out, everyone's like, oh God, okay, all right, we can relax for a second because they're gonna be good. They're gonna save us. They're gonna say all the right things. Yeah, and is chat saying like you can't teach charisma? I think that's also a good thing to say there. Like Medicine and Spencer both have like a ton of charisma, and that helps in that stage situation. Cohh, what were you gonna say? You remember?
Well, before we move on, I just love to know like what was the stuff that was so exciting about WoW?
Yeah, so we can jump into that. Tally tweeted out, and I didn't actually consider this, but now after BlizzCon this year, there are 5 different versions of World of Warcraft that you can play. You can play Classic Era, you can play Classic Hardcore, you can do Season of Discovery, which is what they announced, one of the things they announced at BlizzCon, which is like Classic, so there's a term called Classic Plus, and there's a group within, and that's not a Blizzard sanctioned term. That is kind of a community driven term. Classic Plus is essentially what happened, or what World of Warcraft would look like if after the initial release of Vanilla WoW, it went off in a different direction. So like Burning Crusade never happened, and they went a different direction. And so that's what everyone says Classic Plus is. Season of Discovery is like what a lot of people are saying is Classic Plus Beta. Because essentially what it is you level to 25, which is the max level. And then at 25, they're doing crazy shit. So like their big thing on stage was, what if a warlock could tank? Or what if a mage could heal? And if you play World of Warcraft, that's not a thing that those do. Those are both DPS classes, and those aren't their roles ever. And so they're kind of going off in a different direction. So a lot of people are thinking that as this continues on, they're going to just spur it off and be a completely different entity from like retail WoW, which could be cool. Like people are very excited about it, especially the like classic community. They also announced that the classic servers, as it were, which have been continuing on through the expansions, Wrath of the Lich King being the one that I think's out right now, they're getting Cataclysm Classic. That was kind of I don't want to speak for the WoW community because I'm not actively playing, but Blizzard came out and said, like, we've had a lot of discussions and read a lot of feedback on like where you want us to take this and what do you want us to do. And Cataclysm was kind of, no pun intended, it kind of like split the community. It took World of Warcraft in one direction and a lot of people quit around that time. It's kind of seen as like the old, it's where like old WoW died and new WoW started. And so that was kind of a lukewarm reception. And then they announced at the very end when Metzen came out that they're doing, I think it's the World Soul Saga, and they announced 3 new expansions that are coming out over the next X years. The first one being The War Within.
Oh.
And they're going to have like an actual story through all of that.
14 style.
Yeah. And it was very much as a 14 player. It's like, yeah, it's exactly what that is. They're putting in like a full featured story where you're going to have like a adventuring party and go through and experience, the stories of Thrall and the big characters.
It sounded like they're going to make these come out much faster than they have been as well. So like,
yes,
maybe every year we'll get an expansion. Maybe that's why I announced them like in a row, because
we're
going to get one a year probably.
Yeah.
Which could be interesting.
It's exciting. Like I want to see how it works out. The WoW panel, which I did not watch on Saturday, I think is where Cohh, you saw a lot of social media, particularly like Asmongold and the quote unquote influencer community heads of that, Asmongold being one of them. We're very up on that, very excited about that. in terms of like the ascendancy classes, where every class is going to have like a new like special advanced talent system to go into, where you can like differentiate your characters and yada yada yada. It looks cool.
Cool.
That all being said, Blizzard can't ever do everything exactly correctly. So they did have a big misstep, which the community is very quick to point out, and a bunch of people are upset about. So the War Within, which is their retail expansion release, when you look at something like Diablo and even like Final Fantasy is not a really good comparison, but Diablo is probably the best comparison. They sold early access, right? And they sold early access to Diablo 4 at a premium price. I think it was $70 or $60 or something like that to play Diablo 4 early. And it was also on a 3-day weekend. So you had a holiday. So you really had to sit there and be like, what am I going to do for the next 3 days? Oh, it was $100.
90
okay.
chat saying.
Yeah, 90 or $100 for that. Yeah. And so apparently that went really well, because they're doing the same thing for World of Warcraft, 3-day early access for $90, where the base game cost $50. And that's the first time they've ever done that for an MMO. And people are not happy about that.
Yeah.
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 That being said, it's probably going to be wildly lucrative for Blizzard.
Oh, God, no.
Of course it is. They're doing it because it worked.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
doing it because it's working.
Yep.
You can get as mad as you want, make all the Reddit posts, but if it increases their profits and doesn't hurt them, then they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So this early access thing just probably made them a lot of money with Diablo, so they're going to probably keep doing it in all their games.
Yeah. It's a lot of people are saying it's like Bobby's last goodbye kiss to the community.
If they think that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, the issue too is like other MMOs.
I'd upgrade it from a kiss though, or downgrade it, I suppose. It'd be Bobby's last
goodbye reach around.
Bobby's
like
last fart in the elevator. It's like, there we go.
His last crop dust in the office.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was probably, I think, the most negative thing that came out of the opening ceremony. It was a 2-hour opening ceremony, and the WoW stuff was the only real like interesting stuff. The other games, I felt like they just didn't have anything. Like Blizzard or Diablo came out. Diablo 4 came out and said like, yeah, we got an expansion. Here's a teaser for it. And they showed the forest from Diablo 2 of Act 3. And it's like, yeah, we're going there. Talk to you next summer about it. And that was it. And then they went and like read patch notes from the current season, which arguably is, I think the community is responding well to that. But at the same time, it's still Diablo 4 ultimately. So.
Yeah, a lot of my friends that played Diablo 4 said Season 1 was pretty bad, and they all kind of got bored and quit. But they're all like really enjoying Season 2. They buffed everything and made it a lot easier to get the 100 and stuff. And a lot of people are having a lot of fun with it. So they're on the right track with that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, random tangent. I thought it was funny. Cohh and Daniel, you'll appreciate this. They brought out on the stage, I forget exactly the two roles that they have within the higher ups within the Diablo franchise. One of them, who I think worked on Diablo 3 as well, is named Chris Wilson, and he's a bald guy. And so they announced Chris Wilson to the stage, a bald guy, and I was just kind of like, wait a minute, what? Why is Christopher Wilson there?
Is he moonlighting?
From GGG? Yeah. And so the PoE subreddit had fun with that and was like Chris Wilson at home, and like just it was good times. It was good times to meme on that. So apart from all that, though, it was BlizzCon. It seemed like the same exact show that they've had in the past, and people responded well to it. But yeah, I will see where the WoW stuff goes. That the Season of Discovery stuff that I mentioned, the like Classic Plus, that starts November 30th. 25 days from now. So it's relatively soon. And so they're keeping kind of that that community fed in terms of content, which people are excited for. So I'm sure that'll blow up on Twitch at the end of the end of the month.
This is the first like thing like that they'll have no public testing for. So
Yeah.
everyone's gonna experience it for the first time in real time.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be because usually when a WoW expansion comes out, every streamer's been streaming it for 3 months and they've discovered every secret and stuff. So there's really nothing to uncover. This is gonna be like the first time where everyone gets to find it out themselves.
Yeah. Which is unheard of, really. In the past 10, I can't think of a WoW expansion where everything wasn't data mined and everything wasn't figured out. So that could be a pretty cool experience. They're trying to recapture and rekindle, I think, what Classic was for a lot of people, where they got to like go back and relive through all of that. We'll see what happens with that. Chad is pointing out, I didn't mention Rumble, Warcraft Arclight Rumble, which is their new mobile game. It's essentially Clash of Clans, I think, is what they're trying to emulate there.
I played it. It's like you like drop, you get like mana, gold that generates over time.
Clash Royale, sorry. Yeah.
You drop your heroes down, they go off on their own and auto battle up to try to kill the enemy hero or their tower, basically just like that Clash of Clans game.
Yeah. Probably make more money than everything they mentioned on that entire stage.
They mentioned 60% of Diablo Immortal players have never played another one of their games.
Yeah.
So there's a different market for mobile games out there.
They've got wild stats for mobile, man. I saw there was a leak a while back that Diablo Immortal was making $2 million a day outside of China. So that's not even factoring in like the biggest market for that game. And it just kind of shows you like how much fucking money that stuff actually makes when a lot of people just poo-poo it in kind of our social circles. But
it honestly, like, it reminds me of there's a I'm from Montana and there's an old, like, not an old, but like it's a saying, if you want to keep your bar afloat, put in a casino, put in like a couple of, because they're legal in Montana, is the video poker and machines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, even if your bar is dead, if you have like 2 or 3 people in your casino every day, your bar will stay up. And same thing with mobile. It's like, is your game dying that you love so much? Make a mobile game, keep yourself afloat.
Yeah. I mean, the Activision Blizzard King thing that Xbox purchased, a large reason why they wanted that. Sure, World of Warcraft, Diablo, these huge IPs, but King makes so much fucking money and Xbox has no presence in the mobile world. So you're going to see a lot of Xbox IP ported to mobile in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And it's probably going to make them so much money. That's why it costs $70 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard King. So we'll see how it goes. Before we leave the Activision world, Modern Warfare 3 is being panned at the moment. Not just because it's Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, but it's because the most recent campaign is about 3 to 4 hours long, and it uses DLC levels that I guess weren't widely played in its campaign, and it's not good. I think IGN gave it a 4 out of 10 for one of the reviews that I saw going around. It's getting absolutely blasted by both the community inside and outside of it. And maybe rightfully so. It's kind of a return to form. I've been on this podcast before saying like, oh yeah, the Call of Duty campaign's been really good the past couple of years. Playing through them 7-8 hour experience. This one, not so much. It's 3 to 4 hours using reused assets, and kind of boring from most people that have played it.
Speaking of reused assets, fucking stole my logo. Damn assholes.
That's true. Yeah. You got to copyright it.
The white letters with the 3 bars underneath it. I mean, come on, man. I've had this shit for 10 years.
I would actually be.
Time to sue.
Do you have that trademark, Z?
Time to sue.
Yeah, but it's.
Oh, you do have a trademark.
I mean, it's for Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Go steal Bobby's golden parachute.
Yeah, go take on Bobby. That'll be great. We'll be the center of attention of the
go
gaming
fart
space.
in his elevator.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. It's not good though. It's
Well,
also strange
First,
too.
I got to settle my lawsuit with Creed 3 because they did the same thing.
That is true. They did take.
And then Blops 3. Like, I got so many people.
You're busy. You're busy in the legal
So many.
space. You got a lot.
Your
of stuff
lawyers
to
are just flush with work, man.
do. You do. Yeah.
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 One thing at a time.
Yeah. I booted it up just to see what it looked like graphically because the COD campaigns always are pretty impressive graphically. That game boots Modern Warfare 2 to load Modern Warfare 3 single player, which really makes you start to think like, am I paying money for fucking DLC of Modern Warfare 2? Like, is this a full price DLC thing? And the answer is yes, but like, it's just kind of weird. That's how I had it restarted the game, I think 5 times. And that's not any options. That's not me changing anything. That's just like me trying to load up the story. And it's a weird thing. COD's in an odd place.
This campaign reminds me of those times in school when I forgot that I had a paper due tomorrow morning and I had to rush and just try to piece things together as quickly as I could and slap it together.
Yeah.
And try to get as good of a grade as I could.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing.
Which is so funny because I remember there being like all these Call of Duty streamers. It's like, oh, it's back, baby! It's back! This is great! This is gonna be awesome!
For
It's just
MW3?
like, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and now it's like here we are with now. How's the multiplayer release?
I don't think it's out. I don't think that's out yet. I think it's
it's
a
not
week.
out yet.
It's a week early access to the campaign. Yeah, so that's why everyone was focused on that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm kind of curious how the multiplayer goes over, because right now Fortnite is having this like massive fucking renaissance. They announced they launched Fortnite OG, which is them going back to the like original multiplayer experience. I saw numbers like 5.5 million concurrent people playing the game.
What is it? Ninja had 100,000 people watching him.
Oh, I didn't see that. Jesus. Game Awards tweeted out that yesterday 44.7 million people played worldwide, according to Epic Games, which is like, holy shit, that game just
Fortnite
doesn't.
Classic. Yep.
Yeah, that game just like doesn't die. It just continues to like die. Even when you don't hear about it, it's like, no, we're making more money than Christ right now. Like we have more money than anyone else in this industry outside of the mobile space.
Well, dude, like it's a tried and true thing. Like the first incident that I remember in my lifetime was New Coke.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Sure.
New Coke. And then everybody's like, this sucks. And they were like, we know. How about Coke Classic? And boom, sales went through the fucking roof. So this is not a new tactic. It is a tried and true tactic, and good job.
Yeah,
I guess.
But I mean, here's the thing though. New Coke sucked, but Fortnite Classic everyone seems to love more than where Fortnite is now.
A little bit.
So it's like
Fortnite never like dipped. Everyone was like Fortnite is dying, and it was like still doing super well. But you're not wrong. Like this is a marketing tactic of like, come back and join us.
Oh yeah.
It kind of fucked with me from like I think it was just like, man, I'm old. I was browsing TikTok and there was a high school local news, a local news that was interviewing a football team that was doing like senior day or some shit. And the captain of the football team was like, yeah, it's 7 a.m. We're down here. I just want to go home and play Fortnite. They got that OG Fortnite. I was like, oh, okay. That's how big this is, where they're just getting news reporters to talk about OG Fortnite again. It felt like we were right back where it started during all the craze. So
when it said, when I first said OG Fortnite and everybody was so excited, I was like, wasn't OG Fortnite just a builder?
Yeah, the OG is Fortnite wasn't even a battle royale.
No, guys, that didn't exist. That's not that never existed.
I
played OG Fortnite.
No.
Yeah,
you think you played OG Fortnite? It doesn't exist, Cohh. That's
okay.
Epic.
I love the zombie defense mode. It was fun. No one else played it though. It
was rough. Yeah. I still
think me and Dan were the only two people that ever streamed it.
No, I played. I mean,
it wasn't a mode though, right? It was the game.
It was the game.
That was the game. That was the game of Fortnite. Yep.
Yeah.
It was the version of the game I pre-ordered with the supporter pack.
Yep. A weird time. What else has been going down in the news? The finals is kind of having a big deal too right now, but I think Fortnite kind of squashed that.
Yeah,
in
bad
terms
timing
of-
on that.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. It was kind of getting big, and then Fortnite OG
It was.
came out, and it didn't do well. I think that's kind of it for the big news. There's a bunch of games that like kind of stealthily came out on November
Well,
2nd.
speaking of Modern Warfare,
Yep.
before we move on from it, one part that does look really good is the new Zombies mode, which is going to be open world for the first time.
Yeah,
It's going to be open world zombies. That part makes me want to go and try it out because I do like the Zombies mode, but now that it's open world, it's going to be even more awesome. They have like really big, giant bosses and stuff.
yeah.
So I hope that mode's going to be good.
I think so too. Yeah, I know. I want to say like the zombie purists are a little bit unsure of how that's going to go. People that constantly play every like release of zombies from COD. But I'm with you. Like, I'm much more interested in like the open world aspect of that than like the linear thing that they've had over the past couple of years. I think does that ship next week or this
I
week?
think it's on the 10th with the multiplayer.
Okay, yeah.
I think it is.
We will see how that goes for sure. Chat's bringing up the Liza P announcements. Yep, they announced DLC.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
Yeah,
DLC and another one.
Yeah, they're working on kind of the second one, which is exciting for sure. Very much a Yoshi P style presentation when it comes to that video that they put out. And you can definitely see that like the developer, the director of the game is like very passionate about what he's doing, and that portrays very well and how it came across. So we'll see how that actually is. I think universally, at least amongst the four of us, Liza P was great. I think everyone enjoyed it here and had a blast with it.
It was one of the first Souls-like games that I could have believed From Software made. Like it was that close and that good.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Really good stuff. I think that's it. There's random stuff like the Twitch app is being removed from the Nintendo Switch in January 2024. I don't know why. I just know that's happening.
They're just cleaning out the attic. They're like, oh shit, I forgot this was here.
Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe so.
No one ever uses this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Embracer had more layoffs at the Neverwinter studio, Neverwinter developer, Cryptic Studios.
Embracer's in so much trouble, man.
Yeah.
I just
They had
terrible.
too much money floating around, and now it's coming
Yep.
back to bite them in the ass. So, yeah, I think that's it in kind of the industry news. Let's talk. I mentioned it. We can do this before we jump into games. Simulcasting is now a thing. Dan, you're simulcasting now, correct?
Yeah.
Now
the past few days.
is it a 1-to-1 feed of what you're sending to Twitch at all times? Is there any improvement from like are you streaming 4K or is it just same feed?
The way I have it set up is in OBS there's a multi-output like program you can put in there. So I streamed the big one to YouTube directly, and then I downscale it to Twitch and stream it through that little app.
Oh.
And it's been working pretty well. My computers can handle it. It's been fine.
Now, when you say big one, what is that? Let's
I'm
get into the
currently
nitty-gritty.
doing 1440p at 60 FPS because they have a low latency mode, but that doesn't support 4K. You can only do normal, which is a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So 1440p is like the best compromise right now.
Yeah.
But it just made me appreciate how good the YouTube player is compared to Twitch and how much more it can handle, but also how not great their chat is. Their chat is still going.
Yeah. I echo everything that you said. I'm pushing, not right now, because of Cohh.
Yeah.
Just to put a blame on someone. Someone's got to take the blame.
Sorry.
No, it's actually.
Is that how Cohh feels all the time? Somebody else is getting the blame.
I mean, I'm not going to name any names here, Cohh. But
Screw you, Cohh. Right? High five.
We got him. We got him finally. We got him.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need to be here if you would rather stream to YouTube.
I'm gonna be on
that's-
Team Cohh to even things out.
Okay. all
Thank
right.
you, Dan.
It's
Thank you
2v2.
so much.
It's
Thank
2v2.
you. I got plenty of games I can play. Just saying.
So yeah, we're not currently streaming and won't be streaming drop frames to simulcast. And I think we talked about it last week. Cohh's actively working on contract.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
I did get the hard like in the way things currently are. No,
no.
and that is
you got the
just-
hard no. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, but there's still options.
Yeah.
There's still options. So Twitch is being pretty cool with some of the options. So I'm
Cool.
still figuring it out.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've been simulcasting exactly like Dan. I am pushing 4K 60 at 23,000 bit rate, which is great. VODs look immaculate over there. But
Wow.
like Dan said, the latency that comes from that in terms of chat delay, it's about 20 to 30 seconds.
It's like
And-
Justin TV era.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. They don't necessarily, and I've been told that's because of the transcodes, because there's an additional 2 layers of transcoding that it has to do. And so that pushes out the delay on that. But a lot of people, funny enough, on the chatter's end have said that they've been opening Twitch chat and using that as a way to chat and watching
While
the
watching on YouTube.
because YouTube is, 4K at 23,000 bit rate compared to 1080p 60 at 8,000. Literally like 3 times the bit rate and 4x the resolution. So it looks phenomenal. And even the 1440p streams look phenomenal because you can push so much higher bit rate. I learned that the max bit rate one person can push to a YouTube stream is 85,000. So that
Yep.
just kind of
Not 8,500.
no, not 8,500. 85,000 is the max bit rate that a YouTube stream can take in. So that I
And
would think.
you still get the 20-second delay.
Yeah. I think it's around the same delay. I have not. I could probably push that, but I'm not gonna because it's gonna just take over my entire network. But I think that
Also,
would be
at that point,
for 8K
At that
live
point,
streaming.
you're starting to like cross into how much your viewers can download. Like,
Yes.
how good
yeah.
is you? Yeah, how good is YouTube's downscaling and like how? It's all sorts of different questions.
Yeah, that's like some 8K streaming. And then the other thing too is the AV1 encoding that YouTube allows that Twitch does not, is awesome. Like it's from a compression side of things, like a 1 minute of 4K footage at that at 23,500 bit rate was 160 MB, which is still a lot, but that's very good compression. And like it just looks phenomenal from a viewer perspective. But I also think, and Dan, I'm kind of curious about this, from like a live streamer perspective, YouTube kind of sucks. Like there is zero discoverability on there. If you're a variety streamer, swapping games just like practically kills your VOD. It's actually better, from my understanding, to just kill your stream when you swap games and start up a new stream
Yeah.
as like a new video on YouTube, because the algorithm just doesn't know what to do with your content at that point.
TikTok's the same way, where like you can't even change your game category. You have to like turn it off entirely to swap out the game category.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube's just like that, where and every time you make a new stream, you have a new chat. And like it's not the same address.
It's not the
every
same
time.
chat. So chats are tied to videos, which is really weird. Because
Oh, that's strange.
it does have chat playback, but there's never like an active, like you can always go to twitch.tv/Ezekiel/chat and that's always live, right? Any of our chats are always live. And so it really kills like the community aspect on that platform when it's not always active.
Especially if you have like random DCs, I would imagine.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
It does reconnect in that. I did have a random DC earlier
Yeah.
this
Oh,
week,
okay,
and it did
okay.
reconnect. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was pretty painless in that regard. But one thing that I also did learn, and this is actually big in the YouTube space, is you can schedule a live stream, which you can do on Twitch, but it's actually like a huge thing in the YouTube space to schedule the live stream, because the chat does go active at that point. and you can actually like
Oh.
wait. You can. I don't know what the terminology is. Chat will tell me in a second. It's big in the VTuber space specifically. But you can be like, notify me when the stream goes live. Basically, there's a notify me button. And so that's a huge deal over there is people will set up their streams and then like notify me and then they'll get a notification when that actually goes live. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as Premiere, waiting room. It's basically a giant waiting room. So
You can have a custom thumbnail too, so you can like
Yep.
have a fancier looking instead of just random cuts of your whatever your stream is at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
That would be
YouTuber.
good.
There's a YouTuber named Dr. Lupo, used to be a Twitch streamer who
Yeah.
does phenomenal thumbnails, which has been great.
I haven't caught any of those. Yeah. The thumbnail stuff it's another factor that it's actually like a massive deal on YouTube. Thumbnails kind of can make or break a video, and I think they can make or break a live stream as well.
It's like a book cover if you don't care about reading.
Yes. Yeah.
And speaking of AV1, Dan Clancy was asked about this in an interview recently,
Yep.
and he said that I can't talk about it now, but we were close to announcing stuff at TwitchCon, but we weren't quite ready to say it yet. So it seems like that AV1 is on the horizon for Twitch at some point.
God, that's a
Dude,
huge
AV1
undertaking.
AV1 and a higher bit rate would change the face. That's the next
Huge.
step.
Yeah.
That's like the Pokemon that is Twitch evolving. It's
Yep.
like that big of a deal. Because with AV1 would probably come 10 to 12K bit rate.
Yeah.
If not more. So that would be, yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but you might be able to handle 1440p at 8K. And if you're on AV1 and it look okay, or not, 1440p at 8K bitrate, I think it might look all right.
At what frames?
It's
30?
60. AV1 is
What's
that
60?
impressive. Yeah, it's
kidding.
really it's probably like at the bare minimum that you would want to stream at bitrate wise, but yeah, it would look still very good. And even if you
no
just
plants.
Even if you just got AV1 on our current bit rate at 1080p 60, the stream quality would be like night and day.
Oh yeah, and 1080?
Yeah.
At
It's
1080 60
so
with
crazy.
AV1, like say goodbye to foliage issues, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I've been talking with some other streamers and kind of sharing the VODs of the 4K footage that we have, and it's like absolutely insane how quality it looks like you're playing the games in 4K with you know how in perfect example when it rains in Alan Wake how it looks like kind of shit on your Twitch VODs. You can go and like look at the individual little bits of rain on the VODs and it looks like 1-to-1. It's immaculate. So I've been enjoying that from like a business side, from like a streamer conversation. Not necessarily chat doesn't care too much about this. It's weird. And Dan, I'm curious for you because how big is your like YouTube channel in terms of just subs to it? And are you seeing like a business benefit to streaming to YouTube? I guess is kind of the ultimate question.
It's been like there are some people out there that just don't like Twitch as a business, and it allows them to watch and support on a platform they do like, which is good. So there's been some of that, but they're definitely nowhere near as big as the Twitch stream at the time. But
yeah,
usually the other chats move so much slower that you can keep up with them much easier. But it does, like, I think of it as like a funnel where Twitch and TikTok and YouTube, they like gather people that are passing by briefly to like funnel them to Twitch eventually, because Twitch seems like the best place to just hang on a stream for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube and TikTok are kind of like window shopping like streams.
Yeah.
A good way
But
to
it's
think
been-
about it.
And a nice trickle.
Yeah, I was going to say from the point of simulcasting, a good way to think about it is it's basically casting lines out like fishing. It's like casting lines out into different things to kind of bring them back to Twitch, which is, probably going to be our home for a while. Not really any other company is caught up to Twitch in terms of what it can offer and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I turned on the like YouTube memberships, which are the parallel to Twitch subs, Super Chat, which was essentially Super Chat that Twitch took. It's practically the same thing, and it's been like fine. A couple. I think members wise, I'm at like 40 or 50 on YouTube, which is not nothing, right? Like it's been a bump over there.
YouTube split is 70/30?
I think so. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think Barry was saying that they take that YouTube eats the cost, whereas Twitch puts the cost on the streamer or something like. I'm not sure of the split exactly, but he said it was 70/30 ultimately. And the other thing is ads, and that's where I've
Yeah.
run into a lot of things that I can't. So for a long time, people I think on Twitch were like, God, Twitch is so crazy when it comes to DMC. Motherfucker, YouTube is like the fucking FBI. They don't give a fuck. They will monetize nothing if you play any sort of like copyrighted any content. I use Seaberg music. I use like music that I have the rights for. Gets automatically live picked up and ads turned off on YouTube within seconds of streaming it on that platform. And so I've actually had to kill all background noise outside of games. I'm actually running 2 OBSs when I stream, which is why I'm not doing the way that you're doing it, Dan, is so I can actually, like, the streams are different. There's no notifications on the YouTube stream, so it's clean. There's no background audio, so it doesn't get demonetized. And so ads have been running on that, and it's been fine. They have skippable ads on YouTube, and it has like the timeout stuff. So it's a better like ad experience, I guess, for viewers, because they're in control of if they want to skip the ads most of the time. And you're able to like change that if you want, to where you can just be like, actually, you can't skip any of these ads, or actually you can skip some of these ads. They have like 3 different tiers, and they can even break it out further. And then there's the whole, like, this is pretty recent, but the whole ad blocker thing on YouTube came up. And they've like pushed a pretty big update to where it's been breaking YouTube, because their ad blocker has been, their anti-ad blocker stuff has been working pretty well, but then I think it got updated, because it's always going to get updated, and I think it's back to normal. I'm not really sure. But yeah, ads on YouTube are interesting, because the second you play any sort of copyrighted material, it immediately turns ads off and demonetizes the entire video. Whereas on Twitch, it just demonetizes that little space, or that VOD space, and still runs the content. So some slight differences.
Like everybody who's ever dabbled in YouTube videos like knows, like, I got to turn off my air conditioner because that was used in a fucking Tom Jones song in 1978, apparently. So, like, I can't run my fucking air conditioner in any videos that I make.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was a very popular song. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. But it's been a, like, viewership wise, when I was watching the Blizzard opening ceremony, I think we had like 3,500 on Twitch, and YouTube, I think, peaked at like 600. So it's about it seems to be around a seventh of like viewership is the numbers I've seen floating around. Gassy Mexican, who has a much larger YouTube channel than I do, he's got like 1.3 million subs. He's been getting about the same viewership as well on YouTube. But the nice thing is that his chat is filled with people, kind of like what Cohh was saying, where he's casting out lines. Most of Gassy's chat and most of my chat is like, hey, I haven't watched like your content in X amount of years. It's cool that you're streaming here now. I'm gonna be tuning in every single day type deal. And I think just the more that we stream there, it'll just be better for all, right? Like getting those lines out. And I've already talked with sponsors in terms of like, hey, I don't just stream to Twitch now. I stream to all these other platforms. Can we factor that into the sponsor thing? And they're like, well, not right now, but definitely a lot of people are a little bit not into it, but they've all said 2024, we're definitely going to work that into all of our stuff.
I had a candid discussion with a PR company at TwitchCon.
Yep.
About simulcasting. And what really sucked is for the entire first 10 minutes, they were fully under the impression I was going to be simulcasting. So like when I told them I wasn't midway through, they were like, oh, you know, because what they basically said is like, they've understood, like this publisher was talking about all the other publishers they talk to. There's like, you know, they have their own Slacks and Discords that they all talk to each other in, particularly the influence managers. And one of the things they're keenly aware of is that if they're talking to a simulcasting streamer and they give them an offer, which is what happens in our industry, for X dollars per hour, that simulcasting streamer is going to go, so do you want the extra X thousands of viewers I'm getting on other platforms? And then it's kind of like, well, if we don't pay them for those viewers, they're just not going to simulcast for the sponsored stream, and we're going to lose out on a potential, like, a big increase. So they're already coming up in the back end with, like, they're going to have to basically do tiers, because not everyone is popular on all the different things, where it's kind of like, they said it's going to get a lot more complicated.
It is.
Because when you simulcast, it's not just one big number, because not every impression on every platform means the same thing. A single Twitch viewer is not the same as a single TikTok viewer, because a single TikTok viewer has far less retention than a Twitch viewer.
Yeah.
And YouTube and Twitch also has some differences as well. Instagram also has its own things. So they're figuring out, just like you said, which is probably why they're waiting.
Yeah.
They're figuring out exactly how they're going to do that. But the number he floated was, he was basically like, we'll take your Twitch number, and then we'll take, like, averages of all your others and just tack that on to your business model. And then if you don't want that, then we'll just, we won't simulcast and won't pay you as much. And, like, it's going to be confusing, but the short answer is content creators are going to probably end up winning in that situation, which is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, everyone's going to win, because there's going to be more viewers on their stuff. But yeah, it's going to be wild, especially for a couple of years as they figure out how to do it.
I agree. And I've already seen this past year, my TikTok. I don't know if you guys have gotten, but I've gotten, like, sponsored TikToks, just because it's like something that's been growing as a small side part of the content. And so, like, it really is. I think we threw around the word, like, streamer wars so many times. I feel like this is the true streamer war, where things are kind of like on a equal playing field from, like, the streaming platform side of things. And now it's really a race to, like, who's going to elevate their platform to compete with, like, the amount of YouTube folk, like YouTube employees that I've had interact with my tweets ever since I started simulcasting is like 10x of people that just coming out of the fucking woodwork, and they're like, hey, I work at YouTube. Let me know if you need any. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Where did you come from? So I can already see, like, people are going to start, companies are going to start, like, racing towards finding ways to elevate their platform where it might fall short, like YouTube's community, to where Twitch's community is, or Twitch elevating their player to where YouTube is. Like, it's gonna be very interesting over the next couple of years how all that shakes out. Because now it's not just we're gonna pay a shit ton of money to a streamer, to a platform. It's we're gonna pay no money and hope that the streamers come over to our platforms because our product is better. And that, I think, is a better situation to be in.
It's going to be even more complex when they start merging viewer counts on Twitch, to where you have to merge everyone's together. Then you have this big number. Like, do we all get paid based off that, or is it percentage? And then simulcasting on it. It's just going to be a complex, like, math problem that all these PR companies have to figure out.
Yeah,
of how to deal with all this new stuff that's happening.
Yeah, it's going to turn into TV. It's ultimately, in, like, a lot of ways, we're going to become the networks, essentially, and that's what it's going to turn into. So yeah, very complicated, very fast, I would think, over the next couple of years. I don't think it'll turn into that for viewers, though, for what it's worth, but because you're not going to have to get, unless the content creator starts blocking their content behind a paywall, like a cable, it should just be able to, be viewed anywhere. But it's up to the content creator at that point. I suppose we'll see. But yeah, simulcasting is interesting. You also start to see the Dan, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you can see in the live atmosphere on YouTube where the gaps exist for types of content creators. Because, like, there's not necessarily, unless I'm just missing it, which totally could be true, it's a giant sea of content creators. There's not, like, a variety focal point on YouTube, because it's hard to do.
Just like on Twitch, but even more so, the big games, the Fortnite, the Call of Duty, those do well, the streams do well. But outside of those, it's really, like, sometimes it'll do really well, but a lot of times the more obscure a game is, the, like, less likely you're going to get, like, a big viewer explosion on YouTube, because they don't like to push things that aren't trending as much.
Yeah.
Whereas on Twitch,
Oh,
if you have enough
fuck.
viewers,
Like-
you can push something up if you have those viewers to push it up on the directory. Where YouTube doesn't really
Yeah.
have that centralized big directory of just everyone live at once.
Yeah. But I would think that's something that could exist and something that YouTube will strive to fix ultimately.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I mean, that would be a fundamental reinvention of their algorithm in a lot of ways, though.
Yeah. I have never spoken to people at YouTube at all, let alone about their algorithm. I would be curious to see if they plan on them like being the same algorithm or if it's going to be different for like live videos or I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I guess I'm ultimately, Zeke, I saw you shake your head at Dan's comments. Don't let that dissuade you. You should stream to YouTube. You should still
Yeah, you
fire
should
up
still
your
give it.
stream.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to.
It's yeah. You should definitely just fire up a restream of it. It's very simple to do with the multi RMTP thing that you can just load into OBS. Takes
You know what?
30
You're
minutes
right.
to fire up.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, just do it.
Do it.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Just
How
believe
long
in
did
yourself.
what was the process of getting like partnered over there?
You I don't actually. I do know what it is,
It's been a while,
but
Yeah.
it's not because I just did it on Last Call's YouTube last year. It's not
There you go.
hard though, Zeke. It's
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Okay.
It's like 4,000 viewer hours if you upload videos.
Yeah.
And-
There's a
and then
couple
X
like
number of subscribers.
there's a couple things where it's like sub count, which is relatively low, maybe 100 subs or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And they just made it easier. They have like a lower tier that you can start at, and then you go to the normal one right after that. So they're
I was
making
honestly
it
afraid that
easier.
you're gonna be like, it's a lower tier, like 20,000.
No.
It
30,000.
only
No, no, no.
requires 1 million subscribers, so you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Someone in chat saying 4K hours watched and 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, definitely do it. Anyways, enough technical bullshit talk. That's. I feel like that conversation was just for us four. Like Twitch chat was like, whatever you
Like,
fucking talk about
I
fucking
don't
video
care about
games,
this
but-
stuff, JP. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No, no, no,
I
no,
think
no, no,
what
no.
was it, JP? You said it best earlier. Some people like to watch on YouTube anyway.
That was Dan.
So, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, or Dan. I'm sorry, Dan did. I mean, I think a lot of, especially people with good internet connections, the idea that we're going to be able to give them a stream just for totally free at much higher quality. Like, I think that's very interesting. Now I'm sitting here going, how do I make a website that uses YouTube's video with Twitch's chat, so we can just offer that to people?
Yeah. I mean,
For
I've
simulcasting.
already had so many people be like, I can't watch your Twitch streams anymore. I'm like, oh, it's like because the YouTube stream
Wait a
looks
second, we
so
can totally
much better.
Barry.
Yeah.
We should do that right now. Yeah, let's make that happen. Let's
Yeah.
make that website.
Let's do it.
That'd be in fact, we could go as far as just making that a website available to everyone, where it's just like you just put in a URL for the Twitch stream or the YouTube video, and then put in a URL for a pop-out Twitch chat, and boom. Done.
Does that break Twitch's simulcasting rules though? I guess
Why?
no, because it's not in the stream itself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I bet in fact I bet that's already made. I bet you that's
Probably
already out there
exists somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to yell at the wall. Oh no, Barry's over there. He's chained to the wall, actually.
Yeah. He
So,
keeps them locked up on the weekends. I get him Monday through Wednesday. Yeah. Or
They let him out, and they let him out every once in a while. And if you watch any of my TwitchCon recap VODs, like you know what happens when Barry
It's
gets let out.
fucking wild. You gotta keep him locked up.
He was a
It's
pro
like-
at writing that. That was impressive.
He's like when you say Barry Carlian like 3 times, like Beetlejuice, it's showtime. Fucking he jumps
Yeah.
out of the fucking
Yeah.
woodwork
Oh,
and just
man.
parties.
It's rough.
So I was I did not know this, and it's because I never looked into it, but apparently like if you are already a partner on YouTube with your videos and stuff like that, you're monetizing whatever,
Yeah.
that carries over.
Yeah,
You're
it's one to
already,
one.
Like I did not know that. I thought they were different things.
No, you
Okay,
just
so
when
apparently
you-
I can just do it. I'm already there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just it's a weird process, but you just go to the create button in the top right, and it's like upload videos, go live, new playlist, new podcast, blah blah blah. You just hit
Okay.
go live, and it gives you the feed. Then you take that
Okay.
stream key and throw that into OBS, and there you are. You're live. It's
Cool.
a pretty simple process. The hardest part is setting up that multi RMTP plugin on Twitch if you're just gonna, or sorry, in OBS if you're just gonna utilize that, which you should. That's probably the best thing. It's a third party.
I'll talk to Dan.
Yeah,
See-
yeah, it's just
see
a
how he
third
does
party.
it.
Yeah. I think they have very detailed instructions on how to do that. So,
And probably gonna have to talk to my wife too, since we stream both at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
See if we have enough to do that.
yeah, it does push more bandwidth. So take that for what it's worth. All right. Anyways, like I said, video games that come out. I'm actually curious. Am I the only person that hasn't finished Alan Wake 2 here? Did you finish it,
I
Zeke?
haven't finished it.
Okay. Dan, you finished it. I know you finished it during
Yeah.
Horror Month, right? And Cohh, you finished it yesterday?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're ahead of me, Zeke. If I say a location of where I'm at, is that a spoiler?
Sure.
I
mean,
just finished.
I mean,
No.
It might be. It might
But-
be.
You go
I don't think
you
it
go
is.
there multiple times sometimes, so it's hard.
I'm at the Wellness Center. I just finished the Wellness Center.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit further.
I don't
than
think
you
that's necessarily a spoiler.
It's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
then. But also,
The
you
chapter
can
numbers are
choose-
weird. Yeah.
well, you can choose to do like there's different paths.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Yeah.
there's different ways to complete the game, and saying where you are, you could be like further than me, even though
I
I've
am-
already completed something.
That's a good point.
I am
Yep.
parallel to the Wellness Center in all paths, if that makes sense.
I'm doing the same.
Okay.
So yes,
Yeah.
I am ahead of you.
Yeah. That being said, I have a question for Cohh and Dan. Does it get scarier than the Wellness Center? Because to me, I hated
I
that
mean,
fucking part.
Scarier is very relative. It depends on what scares you.
Do the
So, I
jump
mean-
scares continue to the frequency that they did in the Wellness Center?
That wellness center was by far the most repeaty jump scares back to back of the whole game. It
There's a
was-
lot of them there.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
There's more than normal there.
Yeah. Because I was not
We actually
a fan of that.
talked about that
Yeah.
as I was playing that. We actually talked about that, and I didn't mind it because it seemed like it was akin to what was going on. Like it made sense.
Oh, it
Like it didn't. It
Yeah.
didn't seem like it was out of place. There were more of the boo boo ha boo
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but there was a story reason for it, so it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I have not thought, at least through the 18 hours or so that I've been playing, that like any of the scares don't make sense or that they're cheap or anything. They're just effective on me because like I said, I don't play scary games. So
Oh, I do think it's important to point out that most of the jump scares in Alan Wake 2 are incredibly cheap.
yes, I agree.
Like incredibly. Like
Still
they're
effective, though.
literally there. Oh, incredibly effective. But I mean they are that's one of the things I love about Alan Wake 2 is it has like the psychological horror, it has the thrilling horror, and it has the mother cheap ass jump scares. So like it's like a total horror package.
Yeah.
It does all of the things in one package. Most of the time you either just get the cheap jump scares or the psychological horror. But this game does a really good job of like it's a total package.
It's pretty fucking fantastic. I'm really enjoying the story. I think both with Dan and co-finished, you guys can speak if that holds up throughout the entire story, but like up till where I'm at, which seems pretty much where Zeke is at as well. I'm like glued to my seat. The only reason I stopped playing is because I actually like the jump scares get too much to me and I have to step away because it is a lot because I just don't play that type of game.
Yeah. The jump scares ease up after the level you just beat. So
Okay, that's good to hear.
you-
That's
yeah.
good to hear. Yeah.
it's a little better.
But I'm loving the story. Like it is fucking
Yeah.
awesome in terms of
It's
how it's
worth
been told.
finishing. It's very good.
And like the hooks that it's got me in, or that's got in me. I'm even going as far as like doing all of the side content, and like seeking out all of that stuff, all the different like radio plays and all the different TV stuff.
Mhm.
That stuff is all awesome. And it just continues to be great.
I would say Alan Wake 2 is the best pre-written story of the year in terms of a game, whereas Baldur's Gate 2 is the best you make your own story through the game kind of a game. Like because Alan Wake 2 is the story is what it is, whereas in Baldur's Gate you get to make your story as you go through, and they're both very good and different and show different skill sets in a lot of places.
Yes, chat. He's talking about 2. Baldur's Gate 2 is phenomenal.
Sorry,
Absolutely.
3. Baldur's Gate 3.
Wait, 3? No, 2.
I like
Two was really good too.
2 was good.
Well, 2 was great.
2 needs more love. 3 gets all the love. Let's give 2 some love.
3 does
Absolutely.
get all the love. Maybe rightfully so. Yeah, I echo everything I said last week. I don't have really anything new to bring to the table. But Zeke, you weren't here last week. Cohh, you finished it. Dan, you weren't here last week. So I'll toss the discussion to you. How are you guys enjoying it? Zeke, we'll start with you.
It's excellent. I love it. It's like I like games and plots that you are not sure what's actually happening or what's maybe like not happening. You know, like got to dance around this, but
Yeah.
like the things the games that deal with reality, and this game is heavily dealing with like what's real and what's not, and I love that. I love not being sure like if anything is true, if anything that I'm hearing, seeing, playing is fact or fiction. I have no idea, and I love that because it because it could go any way. It could go any way like that you can imagine, you know. And I absolutely love, as someone who's played most of the Remedy games, absolutely love like seeing references and knowing like, oh shit, that's from, you know, what Quantum Break, Control. That's from, you know, a DLC or something like that. Like, I love that shit. Like the first time I came upon something, because they kind of like they told you about it, they tell you about it later. But when you first like walk past, I was like, walking through the forest, and that's a what? That's a thing. I go over to the thing, I'm like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they come back to it, but I was like, I noticed it before they told me what it was. Ha ha.
Yep. Yeah, and they do a lot of that too. They will show you things, give you time to think, what the fuck is that? And then a couple hours later, they're like, by the way, that thing over there is this. You're like, I fucking knew it. Or like, what the fuck? How is that? You're just so confused. I'm so confused 99% of the time I'm playing this game. I really just go through it with the state of like,
wait until the end.
Oh, I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard that.
I'm not going to say a single thing beyond that, but just like, oh man, it is, woo.
Yeah.
It's such a great ride.
Yeah.
It's such a great
I'm going
ride.
to do something I don't normally do. Chat, if you're listening, listen up. Okay, my chat.
Okay.
My chat has been really good about helping me with stuff I should know or do know.
Oh.
But didn't remember. You know, like, okay, I know this name. What's the correlation? And they've been really good about going, without spoiling, they like, okay, this person was in this game and they connect like here. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And they've been really good about that. So thank you for that. And because there's so many fucking threads, man. And they do the fucking thing that really like galls me when like they don't use the exact same name for the person. And they have like nicknames or, you know, other names. Like one person has like 4 different monikers and you're just like, God fucking damn. Are they talking about this person? Okay.
Yeah, that adds to the confusion for sure. Sure. Yeah. It's a lot.
One reason for that is they don't have the rights to some of the characters anymore because like Xbox owns Quantum Break, Rockstar owns Alan Wake,
or owns Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Yeah, Max Payne, yeah. So like they have to like have these weird names. Like clearly Alex Casey is Max Payne, but they can't call him that.
Yeah.
But he is that in every way.
Yep. Yeah.
The
So
and
one thing
shout out to freaking Sam Lake, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Just a rockstar. Just rockstar.
Wow.
Yeah.
The one thing that bothered me about the game is I get why, but I wish that it was like the combat system was more crispy and responsive like it was in Control. I know why they're not doing it. I just wish it was more like it. Not exactly, but more because I feel like I'm fumbling around like an asshole every time there's like a big fight to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's you know, a little bit like because Control was crispy and like fast, and you could be like, you know, doing lots of shit at once. Whereas this is like it feels like you took like if you're moving through molasses, you know, they're slower, you're not as like responsive. Like, you know, if you play action games a lot, you know, like the dodge roll is like super fast. You're like dodge roll iframes. This dodge is like 1 moment. Let me figure out where my head's gonna go. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I think
I have completed a dodge.
I think I'm the only person playing on normal. Dan, did you play it on hard?
I played on normal.
Oh, okay. Then me and Dan played on normal. Zeke and Cohh, I think, playing it on hard. On normal, it's
I'm playing on normal.
Oh, you are? Okay. Then Cohh's the only one that played on hard.
I almost
It's the inverse.
I almost played on story.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. It. I think I've died once, and a lot of it was just because I didn't have. There's areas in the game that I felt like they just constantly respawn enemies as you're walking around, and sometimes they don't drop resources while that's happening, and so I had to just like leave the area.
That was one part of the game I didn't like very much. Was like you'd walk around a corner and be like, "Oh, I forgot to look at something," and you go right back. The enemies you just killed are all back. Like that part was kind of annoying.
Yeah,
in certain sections of the game.
Yeah, that's happening to me a couple times, but yeah, as long as I keep exploring though, in terms of finding everything, I'm finding a pretty good surplus of like resources between all the different weapon types. So
the reason the combat isn't super snappy is because, for better or for worse, they want to like make it survival horror and not an action game, so your character is purposely a little slow and not quite as good at firing, which I feel like they should just have 2 modes. They should have survival horror mode and action mode for people that want that, because you know combat and Control was just so good because it was not a survival horror game. It was a action like game.
It's an action game.
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. I thought Control's combat far exceeds what Alan Wake
I gotta
is,
say, Alan Wake 2 has gotten me like stupidly hyped for Control 2.
Yeah.
Like Alan Wake 2, oh man. Like the Remedy
what specifically like what is gotten you excited about it?
Not only the realism of the environments and the graphics, but the narrative direction and the way that they tell the story. I mean, the amount of passion and effort there is to make the story fuller and richer. It's just there's not really any company that's doing it to that degree. Especially with the FMV integrations and tie-ins. I'm guessing we're probably going to see that in Control as well. Control 2.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be thinking of Alan Wake 2 with Control's like action arcadey power-ups and stuff like that, and that's that. Oh man, I'm so there. I'm so there for it.
I'm actually interested to hear what you guys like. Because I'm sure you got this question. I know I did. Which one did you like better, Alan Wake 2 or Control? And I'm still in the Control camp. Like, I really like that game, and Alan Wake 2 is very, very good. But Control just had something like the premise of Control. I dug a lot more.
I'm a sucker for graphics, and so I think Alan Wake 2 is where I'm at right now.
I liked the world of Control because it felt like a step back from Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is like a very focused, specialized slice, where Control 2 is like the foundation. Like, you know, Alan Wake is literally a small part of the Control universe, and I love that Control like tried to hit so many things that it did. To make it simple, I'll say this: story and presentation of Alan Wake 2, gameplay of Control.
Presentation including graphics for you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Alan Wake 2 is doing a lot of really amazing graphical things.
It's one of the best games I've ever seen. Like, I'll be that hyperbolic about it. It's fucking stupid how good that game looks with everything, even without everything not maxed out. Like, low is the same, I think, as what consoles play on, and it looks fucking insane. If you pump everything up to high though, like, god damn, some of those shots you're like, that is real. That is actually but that's also real. But that's in graphic. That's like a video game. Like it's.
I will say
insanity.
Like, I think you guys probably have. I would consider like S tier gaming rigs. Mine is probably like A tier. Sure. So it's like a little bit lower than yours is, and I did have to fiddle a lot with settings.
Really?
Like, to get
Yeah.
it, like,
Mhm.
because like one little setting is the difference between like a very slight but noticeable frame rate. Like, you turn around and you're like, oh, that's smooth like butter. Let's see if we can pump up like the what is it called? The resolution scaling.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can pump it up one more level. And then you get this very, very tiny little stutter, and you're just like, shit. You know? So I had to like, let me turn this down, let me turn this up. So I had to do a lot of fiddling to get mine to look and run or look smooth was the main word.
I mean,
was using, but
mine's not I'm running everything at max. I think I'm running 1440p quality in terms of the DLSS because I couldn't do 4K DLAA.
LAA.
Yeah, because that's insane. That's an insane amount of graphic powerhouse.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything could push. I have 4090 and a 13900K. Like, it's tip top. I don't think I could push that on anything. But even then, it still isn't a steady 60 for me, Zeke. So like it'll dip down into the 50s, sometime high 40s. But it's for the most part around 60.
How
There
was it
was
for you,
some-
Dan?
There were some there were so many moments in that game where I just felt myself stopping at like how gorgeous it was. For example, when you step out and see New York for the first time, it was just like,
God, yeah.
whoa, that is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a game. It was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
The sunsets, like when you go back to the forest and start seeing sunsets like in the distance, the lake, like that game graphically was top notch. And I was like so impressed by how much of control was throughout Alan Wake 2. How many references to and characters and little nods and hints. And if you like, especially if you explored outside the main path of Alan Wake 2, you get even more Easter eggs or little more things that you can discover that really tie the games together. And I that gets me so excited because I liked Control's story and gameplay, but the world itself is a little too abstract for me with everything like keeps changing and shifting and because we're inside the old house, which is that's its thing. But
Yeah.
I kind of like realistic like environments, which Alan Wake is more like a town and like New York, and it felt a little more grounded. You know, things still get weird and stuff, but it's a little more grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But the storytelling, and oh my god, when we all played that level that we know, and
Yeah.
I finally got to that.
It-
Yeah, I think we all did pretty early on.
it
funny
was
enough.
they didn't have to do that, and they did it. In my opinion, a lot of games try to do that kind of thing, like, and this was one of the most creative ways I've seen, in today. Like, just it blew me away with their creativity. They didn't have to go to that length for this little section, but it was so well done and so brilliant, and it showed that the team is just not only great filmmakers, they're great game designers, they are good at graphics, they're good at tying all their worlds together in a way that makes sense and doesn't feel forced. It just feels like I don't even know if they had planned for Control to be part of Alan Wake when they were making Alan Wake back in the day, but it feels just like they were the whole time.
Yeah, I said that exact statement. Like, I would love to ask, and he might actually have been asked this in an interview. I haven't seen it, if he was, but I would love to ask Sam Lake, like, when you wrote Alan Wake 1, was everything else already a process, a thought, a story that we're experiencing right now in Control and
Mhm.
Alan Wake 2 and like all of that? I would love to know how much of that was.
Someone
thought
found
of.
a really cool Easter egg inside of Quantum Break. You see Initiation, Return, and the other one, the books
Really?
in Alan Wake 2, inside on a chalkboard of Quantum Break from all those years ago. So obviously,
Fuck.
he was planning back then that game was going to be part of that world, and he tied it in even all the way back then. It's just
God, they must have been so pissed when all this other stuff happened
Yeah,
and
dude.
got it wrestled out of his control.
Yeah, it shows that Sam Lake is just a brilliant writer and cinematographer, and just Also actor. He's in,
fucking
like,
awesome. Yeah.
he was amazing as an actor.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've never seen him like in real life acting like that, and he still got it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
and
He's great.
oh no, please finish your thought, Dan. This is for after that.
I am so excited because they are remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 with Rockstar, and I cannot wait to see him hopefully live action in there as Max Payne.
Yeah.
Because he was so good as Alex Casey in Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. I agree. We're gonna say, Cohh?
I don't know if you're up to this part yet. Both you or Zeke, you haven't finished yet, right, Zeke? It's towards the end of the game. But there's a part in Alan Wake 2 where you will enter. This is not really a spoiler, so I would just let you know. There's a part where you are in a theater, and a movie will start playing. It is a 20-minute movie that you can just walk out on if you want to and keep playing the game.
Huh.
Or you can sit there and watch the whole thing.
Okay.
So I definitely recommend sitting there and watching the whole thing.
Cool.
Oh, I will.
Is it
just another little thing that makes the game just so amazing.
Is it a pre-existing film or something they made for the game?
Oh, they 100% made it for the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
then I will 100% be watching it.
Yes.
It's not
But
like an old-time
what's
movie.
crazy about it is it's just like you finish this scene and it just like starts playing and like the door opens that you can continue in and you can I've seen I was curious because I was wondering if a few other streamers watched it too, and I watched them and they just kind of like look at the screen and then just look at the door and just walk right out of the door. And it's like, oh, so you don't need to watch it at all. Like you can just
Cohh,
but to have
you're
that
talking
documented,
to the guy who watched the entirety of Tammy and the T-Rex in the fucking
Oh no!
High on Life.
yeah, in that game. I
it's
sat there on the couch and watched that whole fucking movie.
Nice.
So yes, that's 20 minutes is
Okay.
no problem.
Yeah.
See, how was that movie? Is it?
Oh, it was garbage. It was awesome. It was the worst. It was so bad. But the thing is, like, there was a couple of recognizable people in the movie, so it was just like, oh, you needed money. You needed to be you needed something to fucking put ramen on the table or something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, and Paul Walker was in it.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's a throwback right there. Yeah, it's
Yep.
for people that don't know, it's an hour and 22-minute movie that was in High on Life that plays, I think, near the beginning of the game that you can sit there and watch. So yeah, sometimes
Paul
they
Walker,
do that.
Denise Richards.
But-
Yep.
Yeah, Cohh, I'm right there. I've been trying to find every little bit that I can within the game, even if it is like I think I scare myself more than the game does, which is what they intend, right? Like you can just very easily push on. But for me, it's like I'm in the wellness center and I'm sitting there like, I don't want to walk forward because I know what happens if I walk forward. They're going to do something because that's how video games work. So instead, let's go check out over here. I'll just go off on a random tangent.
Thank God for exploring. They have all
Yeah.
these side areas.
Yeah. And then funny enough, I forget that it's like, this is the area where you're supposed to go. And I walk past the trigger and the thing happens and it's, fucking God damn it. Why did I forget that was the doorway that you're supposed to walk through to trigger the thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hurting myself there.
Oh wait, so we all got by that part then?
Yes.
Assuming from earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Fantastic part.
that-
10 out of
I
10.
know. Yeah. I for the record,
I think about it a lot and I sing it a lot.
I don't like musicals.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Not a fan of them. Don't like them. Love that.
There's a very thin line for what occurs to where it can become cheap and annoying. And they ride that line throughout that entire thing beautifully. It's great. It was really well done.
There's so much creativity. Like it's mind-bendingly awesome.
It's really, really well done. I've watched a lot of different content creators play through that part just to see reactions. And everyone seems to just adore it.
There was another
Funny enough-
spirited discussion in my channel regarding that, like that part from Alan Wake 2 or the ashtray maze.
I was
And
just about to say.
I got to give it up the ashtray maze because, like, when Dan was talking about he likes more real environments, I'm on the other side of the coin where it's like, give me that fucking weird shit. Give me it. I don't need no trees. I don't need no sky. I just want like weird shit happening. And the Ashtray Maze like delivered.
Sure. Yeah. What were we gonna say, Cohh? Or
I thought the Ashtray Maze was okay. It wasn't my favorite part of Control. It certainly wasn't my like that one fell into the category of like I'm not a big fan of like, you know, that kind of music integration. Like, you know, it's got to be something really special. I liked the maze itself. I just didn't think the music was necessary for it, funny enough. But this one felt totally different to me. I felt like the Alan Wake 2 one, it was so well integrated. It was so much a part of what was happening. Like having the FMV people like doing their thing, like pointing the right way, in tune with the music, and like that stuff was just incredible. It sold the whole veneer so much better. Made it a real cogent image, like the whole thing was like one object, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
it was really well done.
And that band, Poets of the Fall, that are the real band that do the music for Alan Wake.
Do they do all of it?
They do all like
a lot of it.
Okay.
Real like rock, like the band itself, like they made songs for the
old gods and the Norse old
gods of
Old gods
Asgard. Like
yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
because
their
their
real name is
fucking
Poets
awesome.
of the Fall. They're releasing a whole album in December that's going to be based on Alan Wake 2.
Really?
So I'm curious about that.
Yeah. That the music, I listen to chapter end music in full every single time, and almost every single song I've listened to is like, yep, I'd listen to that on my own time. Like it's very, very well made stuff, and I love that it was all made for this game, and that none of it triggers any DMCA bullshit, because that's awesome as well. And the writing for
that was a thing though.
What was? Did you get triggered?
No, it was. They had to sort through a lot of it. We got hit with a bunch of
really?
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they were super cool about finding it and shutting it down quick. There were guys all over Twitter that were like, you know, if you find anything, send it to us. I sent it to them. The next day it'd be gone.
Nice.
So they were really good about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope that
it was a minor blip. They were on top of it super fast. Yeah.
Cool. I hope that we see any. I don't really care which one. I think that there are standout songs, but I would love to see any of that performed at the Game Awards this year in some form.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be really cool if they did that.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. What are you doing, Jeff?
Are you listening, Jeff?
He's pretty good friends with Sam Lake, so I think it could happen. You never know.
Sam could be the next Kojima at the Game Awards.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask Dan and Cohh this. Is it worthy of a spoiler conversation, like a full-on, let's discuss the entire game once it's finished? Or is it so nebulous that there's not that much?
It is worth, like, once everyone has beaten it, to sit around a table and discuss what you personally feel the story means.
Okay.
Because it's that good, and there's going to be lots of people has different ideas of what it means.
Cool. All right.
I would say not yet.
Okay. I think I know why you're saying that, because I saw it in chat.
Yeah.
I think
I would think that there's definitely, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but and I think people kind of assume this. Obviously, Alan Wake 2 and the Control universe is big and expansive, and they've always been big about kind of like moving things forward. And I think that I think the big spoiler cast would probably come later.
Okay.
But I think that there's still, just like Dan said, some very, very interesting things, especially towards the end, to talk about in Alan Wake 2. So
cool.
Yeah. They've already. What did they already announce? They said there's going to be a DLC.
Did they say DLC?
For sure. Yep. I'm pretty sure they've already announced a DLC at least, and a new game plus that apparently is going to add something.
Oh.
Yeah, there'll be alternate. The word is like
2 DLCs.
Alternate storytelling with New Game Plus. So some things will be different on the second playthrough.
Yep. Or maybe you get a different perspective or something.
Interesting. Okay.
Which could be but there's some major answers and major questions.
All right.
So,
once me and
a lot of
finish
fun.
it, probably maybe next week. We'll see.
It will absolutely be worth the spoiler section of a episode at least.
Yeah. We'll bring it up.
Not its own thing, but yeah.
We'll have some sort of minor discussion. Maybe not a full spoiler cast, but a minor discussion of it. Like I said, I think me and Zeke should be done by next week. Potentially. It depends. I'm such a fucking. I have to actually pace the game out. I can't do the game back to back because it takes like so much of me to like muster up enough. Like, all right, let's fucking play Alan Wake. Like, oh god, okay.
Gotta hype yourself up and.
I need a day, guys. Let's
ready
play some
for it,
League of
yeah.
Legends. I gotta get my mind straight. Yeah, but we'll see. I should have it done by then. Chat's saying I have about another like 5 to 9 hours left from where I'm at.
You should play a game called Mortuary Assistant. It's very like.
Oh,
nice,
I've watched
casual.
playthroughs of that. Yeah.
It's a-
So here's the thing.
a comfy game.
Here's the thing. I can watch people play super scary games. I just can't play them myself. For what it's the idea of like moving forward and being the one to interact with it is the spook for me. But yeah. Also, fuck you, Dan. How about that?
How dare
I didn't realize
Dan
this
is
was a
gaming
voice
you're talking
stream.
to.
Yeah.
I know. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Jeez.
Have some respect for your
You know,
OGs,
you know,
JP.
you know.
Please, man.
Hey, well,
I say
yeah,
Dan's
only
game
by
in
a
that
year.
comment. Okay.
Yeah, we
That's
both got
right.
the same cane. We both got the same old man cane, you know? Anyways, what else has been going on? I think both Cohh, did you finish the Spooder Man?
No.
Okay. I know Dan finished it yesterday.
I'm playing at my cozy stream.
Yeah. Are you how's that going then, I guess? Cohh, you still enjoying it?
It's fun.
It's
It's
Spider-Man?
fun. I mean, it kind of all blends. The story is definitely the part that's keeping me keep playing it.
Sure.
The combat is it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it kind of blends together for me. Like, you know, it's so good. The fluidity is second to none when it comes to that. Some of the scenes are ridiculous. Like it's not really a spoiler because they promoted it, but I just got done with the scene where you're Venom Spider-Man and the other Spider-Man. I don't even know how to tell
Miles.
that part. Miles. And you guys are chasing the lizard guy under the water, and there's jet skis and boats and everything. And that sequence is just mind blowing. They're absolutely incredible scenes.
Yeah.
So you know, it's been fun. It's the kind of thing where I don't feel the need at all to play it during my day streams. I just play it in the cozy stream, having fun with it, and you know, it's fun. It's enjoyable. And this is coming from a non-Marvel person.
Sure.
I'm not a big Marvel guy. I mean, yesterday they were we were playing and Venom, like a bunch of stuff went off. It was when he meets Kraven, the slight spoilers, but when he meets Kraven the first time, and you guys this is a spoiler. I should say slight spoilers for me. So he was fighting Kraven the first time, and Kraven hit the bell, and Venom's suit started flipping out because he hit the bell. And I was like, oh man, is Venom's suit like super weak to sound or something? And all of chat is like, God damn it, Cohh. Like, I was like, what? That's a pretty bad weakness. And they were like, yeah, it is. It is.
Oh man. That's great. I love that. I love that for you.
So, you know, that's
I love
kind
that
of
for
been,
your
that's
chat.
kind of been fun.
Yeah. For me, like, I'm trying to think of what
The amount of people in my chat that were like, is this a bit? Is this a joke? Is he kidding? I was just like, no, I don't know this stuff, man. I don't.
I'm trying to think of the parallel, because for me it's like I'm like I knew 99% of what was going to happen in this game before it even happened, because just the Marvel lore, and so I would pick up on that like immediately.
Okay. Thank you so much for the people in chat saying this right now. For those who don't know, this is like obvious stuff that anyone who follows Marvel kind of knows this stuff. This is just obvious.
It's like
Venom is
20-year-old
weak to
Venom
fire
weakness.
and sound. Yeah. I learned both of those things last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is and more importantly, this is like Batman origin story stuff where most people have heard this like 20 times in 20 different ways.
Yeah.
So that's the equivalent of me being like, wait, Batman's parents are dead?
What?
Yeah.
When did that happen? He was just a kid? What?
I said that's almost 20-year-old. Then I forgot how old I am. That's almost 40-year-old. Thank you, Richie.
Yeah.
That's very old knowledge.
Thanks for the spoiler, Cohh. Also, who's Batman?
That's fair.
Batman's a guy in Fortnite that you can you can pick him up in there. He's
Oh
got
my god, I bet that's a thing though.
it is a thing.
That's
I saw
Hey,
Max.
that's the guy from Fortnite.
Yeah, I saw Max playing Fortnite, Batman last night.
Dude,
Flosses.
did you guys see the tweets
No, I mean
of the
like
people?
thing for kids.
Oh,
going,
sure.
There was
like seeing Batman for the first time, going like outside of Fortnite, going, oh, he's from Fortnite. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it probably
So
happened.
people were just little off thing here. So many people were posting that the dance for Michael Myers and Halloween in Fortnite was him playing the thing on a keyboard. Did you guys see that? Which is apparently hilarious. So there's a skin for him in Fortnite, and his move is he takes out a keyboard and he goes do 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 do.
Okay.
He like starts playing it, which is amazing. But so many people had no clue who he was. They were like, "Why is this guy in Fortnite? Who is this guy? I've never seen this guy before." Like,
I mean,
like, why is he playing on a keyboard?
Is that 50 years old at this point?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a deep cut for them kids.
It was.
It's old.
It was. I feel like that skin was for the old people, and everyone who saw it that knew it was just like, "That's amazing!" Like even I was like, "That's incredible."
Yeah,
because you could like get behind a wall and start doing the Halloween thing. People
and taunt people. That's great.
45.
That's too long. Why'd you look that up? I was hoping I was completely wrong.
That's too long.
No, it's
I'm not having
1978,
fun
Halloween.
anymore.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I think I said this last week, Cohh. So where are you at in the most non-spoiler way possible in the story of Spider-Man?
Let's see. Spider-Man is Venom Spider-Man. And I think the joint venture between him and Harry just got destroyed.
Do you know what?
I think we're trying.
Do you know what mission number you're on? It says in the main
Not
quest.
exactly.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I know. Oh, I know. I just entered the arc. Yeah, I remember. The last thing that happened last night is Pete got super snippy with MJ.
Okay.
I don't need other people. I'm Bat Spider-Man with my gruff voice and so
okay.
he put on his Christian Bale voice. And
Okay.
he's,
You're not quite there yet, because there's one moment
Having
in
some
particular that I want to see, like how a non-comic book person views and if they think it's stupid.
I'm gonna be playing tonight.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna keep doing it in the cozies until I'm done. I mean the main story and the game, just the game itself, even if it wasn't a Marvel game, like the game itself is just good enough to keep playing. Like
Yeah.
it's just fun.
Oh, the combat is best in class.
Yeah, it's just great. It's just great. So I'll be
fucking
doing
stupid how good
that
it is.
more tonight. I don't know how far I am from that point, but I'll probably get another couple hours in every night until it's done.
Yeah.
I would say it's the best superhero game since Batman Arkham. Like, it's
I
up
agree. I
up
went as
there,
far as to
even
say it's
passes
better.
it. Yeah.
But they're right there neck and neck. It really depends on which fandom I think you want, DC or Marvel. But the combat for me edges it over a little bit more just because of how wild
They
it
did
can
a
get.
great job with the second one of like streamlining the combat and making each character feel a little different and still somehow a little bit the same at the same time. It just feels much more polished. The combat feels, there's no clunkiness. The first game had a couple clunky enemies and a couple clunky mechanics, but they've ironed all that out, and the sequel just feels so good.
Yeah.
It's fun just to walk up and beat up a group of bad guys, which is what you want in a superhero game.
Yep. I found myself like actively seeking out the objectives in the open world, which is very rare for an open world game to do.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, sure, I'll go over and collect that Sandman crystal because I'm kind of interested in the story, but also the combat is just that fun. Like, give me a 5-minute little combat bit. And
First game,
I'll
I
do it.
kept thinking to myself, "Oh God, not another crime I have to solve. These are kind of annoying."
Yeah.
But this one, super fun. I never felt that way once.
Yeah. You finished it yesterday, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. What overall, you fan of everything?
I would say the story got crazy because I'm not familiar with the comics.
Yeah.
The story got crazy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it okay? Then this is a good question because I'm going to ask her the same question. Did you find it stupid towards the back fourth of the game?
Some of the stuff was kind of felt weird, but like I was just going with it. It was like there's probably lore reasons why these things are happening, but yeah, definitely towards the end, I was like, wait, what? To a few things that were going on.
Yeah. They do some like, I wouldn't say deep cuts, but they definitely go into stories that have not been told outside of comic books, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. So
One of the biggest improvements, MJ missions where he plays MJ, so much better than the first game. Those were
it's kind of a meme though.
She's OP as hell.
Yeah,
but
yes.
it's at least a lot more. It's not like she's helpless like the first game where you just have to stealth and nothing else, pretty much.
I saw an interview.
I appreciated that.
I saw an interview with, I think, the director of the game, that straight up said like, yeah, MJ's OP. We basically had to make her OP because we still wanted to do those sequences, but we didn't want them to be annoying for the player. And so she's just out there like 007ing the entire thing.
My
just like
question was,
shooting
like,
super overpowered secret agents.
Why is Spider-Man not using this gun? Like, just take it from her and use this. This
It's a
is
stable
one
gun,
shot
man.
to all these creatures. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
They tried to give it canonical reasons for her doing that in the story, which, like, sure, I guess. But it's also like, Jesus Christ, she's so strong. She's so unbelievably strong. So, Zeke, are you gonna play the Spider-Man? I know you enjoyed the first one. I don't think you played it on release.
I
but
did.
Yeah, you gonna play the second one? You got plans on it?
I don't have designs on it yet.
Okay.
But I mean, fuck, I better if it's in the conversation for like top 10 of the year.
I think so. Yeah.
And I
Top
love
10's
the
gonna be
first one.
wild, but yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth playing. It's also you can
What's the time count on it?
So I was about to say, about 20 hours. I 100%ed
not
it,
bad,
and it
okay.
was 26 hours to do everything in the game to like get the quote unquote platinum trophy. And the
It's
side,
an easy platinum if anyone likes to do platinum trophies.
yeah, the side stories are also very, very, very good, especially if you have comic book knowledge, Zeke, which I think you have a good bit of. So they're worth doing without question. It's good stuff. That is the Spoodermans. What else? Anyone got any like things that they're dying to talk about? We got about an hour.
Yes. If anyone has not played the new RoboCop game,
Yeah,
it is so good.
let's talk
It
about it
is-
because I think you and Cohh might have.
I played the demo and I was like, this is good, but like
Mhm.
it's a demo, so like there's room to be surprised. Tell me about why I should play this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's a very fun shooter. And it kind of has a little bit of RPG in it with a little bit of Deus Ex kind of. But if you're at all a fan of RoboCop the movies from the 80s, as cheesy as they could be, it's got that humor. There's so many moments in it that made me die laughing because they were so funny and over the top, and you can destroy enemies in hilarious ways. You can grab people and throw them. You can throw them into each other. You can punch them. You can shoot them in the balls, and they react to that. It's made by the same people that made Terminator Resistance. So if you enjoyed that game, it's got a lot of that in it. Now, while it's not like as good as Deus Ex with RPG, it's got like a little taste of it where you can go around doing side missions and talking into the city and stuff. Overall, it was I've only played about 2.5 hours so far, so I'm still early. So I don't know if it stays good, but the first few missions of hearing the like theme song to RoboCop and hearing the original actor of RoboCop like doing the voice lines again, like it was nostalgia for me because when I was a kid, I loved RoboCop because it was like a super violent movie that I wasn't supposed to watch, but I would watch it sometimes. So it just took me back to the 80s, like the early 80s when I was a kid, watched with RoboCop. Very, very nostalgia.
Yeah,
But it's also just a fun, violent, brutal shooter if you like those kind of things.
how much do you
You can
think?
throw people out window.
How much do you think nostalgia plays a role in your enjoyment of it? Because I feel like I don't want to speak for them, but we talked about the game on a prior show, and it was kind of the inverse. But they don't necessarily have the nostalgia for it. So, like, how much for you was that nostalgia a factor? Dan?
Probably a pretty big factor because, like, not everyone likes RoboCop the movies. They're pretty niche and pretty. If you like them, you really like them. I thought the first RoboCop movie was very good, very underrated, but not everyone liked it. Even in the 80s, they didn't like the RoboCop. Not everyone. But for me, like, as a RoboCop fan, I loved it. But maybe for not a RoboCop person, it's probably not the most exciting shooter in the world. But for me, it did what I wanted to do, was relive the RoboCop fantasy of being a walking tank that can slow down time and just destroy big groups of bad guys and dispense justice indiscriminately. For me, it's all about that RoboCop fantasy.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I feel the price is a little high though. I would if it was a little bit cheaper.
Is it a
'cause I
full
think
price game?
$60. I think it's $60. I think it's a full price one.
Okay.
I feel like should have been probably
50.
a $40.
It looks like it's 50 on Steam.
50. So I would if it should have been like a $40 game for me. But
I apologize. It's 50 for the base, or if you want to get the Alex Murphy edition, then it's 60.
What's the Alex Murphy edition give you?
You get a Vanguard pack, the Alex Murphy pack. Oh wait. Oh, I'm looking at something else. I apologize. I'll go keep talking. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
during my 2 hours a day, I did 2 side missions that both made me laugh out loud because they were so funny.
That might
Also,
have been
there's,
the thing. Cohh, I think, maybe talked about those a while back, and he didn't have any reference. He just thought they were completely fucking absurd.
One of them
RoboCop-
was, ridiculous, and the other was just like, what?
RoboCop's
Oh,
always been very big on satire and making fun of the world. Like they have a car in the movies called the Sucks 6000 was the brand of it, and you even have a mission in the game about going to find that. And it's a lot of it makes sense if you're familiar with the movies, but I don't know if someone's not a fan of RoboCop if this would be their preferred game. But it's got a lot of good reviews on Steam. I think it's like at 90%.
Yep.
So people that have been playing it seem to like it, and I personally liked it myself.
I think it sold really well.
91%.
Yeah, it sold really well too. I want to say they were surprised at how well it sold. Like pre-orders.
The
or
Alex
something.
Murphy edition, to go back to that, it comes with the OCP shotgun as a secondary weapon, the prototype version of the Auto 9, his gun, and you get the damaged armor RoboCop skin,
Ooh.
and a digital art book, and also too late now, but 48 hours early unlock.
Oh, they sold early access to it. Okay. Interesting.
One of my favorite ways to kill somebody was to grab someone, walk outside, throw them as high up into the air as I could, and have them fall down and smack their face and die. It was amazing.
Dan, are you okay?
No.
Is this how you
I
get
have a
over
lot-
horror month? 30 days straight. You're just like, I
have a lot
gotta
of
kill
it's not
someone. Let's
depression.
throw them up
Yeah.
in the air.
I'm not like other
learned-
humans.
That even
You'd
if
have some
you
fun
are
in the
not-
Cyberpunk expansion.
I learned even if you are not like, because I went through the demo, and I was like, I got tired of shooting people in the dick. So I know
What?
it's
It's so weird.
Hold
to hear
on.
from Z.
What
That
the
is
fuck?
so
Hold on.
weird.
Roll
I
that.
know.
Are you
I was
okay?
like, I'm not
I don't.
I'm not gonna
Dan,
use my gun
Dan,
anymore.
are you okay, Zeke? Did COVID like change? Are you a different? Is this the same
Yeah.
person? Did they take you
Something
over?
changed.
No,
Did they finally
I'm telling
get you?
Like you can't have filet mignon every night for dinner. You're gonna get sick of it eventually.
Not wrong.
But I learned that you can't, like, even if you're not using your gun, you have to be a little bit more discerning about picking up enemies and throwing them, because sometimes there's hostages and sometimes there's collateral damage, and you can pick up bad guys and throw them indiscriminately, but you end up killing maybe some of the people you're there to save.
Happens.
But I got one left. I had one left, so it was a net safe, like, overall.
Yeah.
If anyone's thinking about playing this, there is a 3-hour-ish demo
Yeah.
on Steam that's free. Play that. You'll know if the game's for you after playing it.
It's on
Because
Game Pass
that
too,
is
right?
the game. I don't think it's on Game Pass, but it should be if it's not. This would be a
Okay.
great game.
We'll see what chat says. I thought it was, but yeah, demo is definitely what you should check out.
It's not. Chad is saying it's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, get the demo then. Dan's 100% right with that. Cohh, did you go back and play any more after the demo? You haven't gone back? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. Still might, but not yet.
Dan, do you have any idea how long the game is? Have you seen anything?
I just started today. And I have no idea.
Okay.
I haven't looked at how long it is.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like what their if it's like a 10-15 hour experience, I think that would be appropriately priced for the footage and gameplay I've seen of it. But I have no idea how long it is. So cool. That's RoboCop. This is the PC version, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is this on the consoles?
I don't know.
Console.
Probably.
Yeah, was. I just went to the PlayStation store and it said this probably isn't what you're looking for and aired out. So
That's always a good sign.
That's always great. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. All right. Just finished RoboCop. It took 24 hours. Oh, okay. That's pretty lengthy then.
Not
for
bad.
that. Yeah. Dan, Cohh, or Zeke, Cohh, anything else? We'll kind of just hop around here. Hot potato with games to talk about. I have something, but I need to pull up footage of it so I can go after. Anything you guys have been playing that's interesting?
I played Stray Souls.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Woo!
Okay. This was it was worthy of an entire highlight video when I played the demo a year ago, because they released a demo into the wild in October of 2022, and it was so fucking broken and just like not ready for anyone to see it, that I had a hilarious time with it.
Was that Stray Souls?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And I played it, and I want to say I played all the way through it. I think I did, right, guys? Pretty sure I played all the way through it. And they improved some stuff, but I would never recommend this to anybody who's going to play it on their own at home. But boy, was it a fun fucking game to stream. What a fucking piece of broken shit this thing was. It's got mostly negative reviews, 25% on fucking Steam.
Yep.
For good reason. Because it's the story is fine. The voice acting is good. The environment and graphics and stuff, they're great. It's just all of the rules and coding and collision and all that shit in the game, like, is like super unpolished and like slapped together. And it's just like when you're fighting an enemy, it's seemingly random whether they're going to like track you, meaning like they seemingly get bored, like these fucking like four-legged enemies like gallop at you, and then they're just like turn around and start like just sauntering back, and then sometimes they magnet on you and they're just like pap, 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 you're dead. You're like, make up your fucking mind, guys. Like, do you want to eat me or not? Like, what is going on here? There are boss fights in the game, and the enemy design is actually really cool. However, the execution on the battles is very bad. It's like, okay, just picture like there's this big hulking enemy and it's like trying to smash you. It's like kind of a Dark Souls boss, in stature and size.
Sure.
And it's like trying to get you and smash you and shit like that. When it hits you, you don't like. I mean, sometimes you do like the animation where you're like, oh, like that or whatever. But most of the time, it'll hit you and you like slide back without like reacting. So you're just standing there like with your gun out. You're like, whee! Like that shit happens nonstop in this
As
game.
you
And
do.
It's fan-fucking-tastic to stream with friends. But it's the same reason, like, you wouldn't watch a movie that they've watched on Mystery Science Theater by yourself. You'd want to watch it with, like, a bunch of friends because it's so bad that you have to talk about how bad it is.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, and it makes it worth it. But like I said, like, there's so much stuff, like, that's good and in the right place. It's just all of the skeleton of the game is like the foundation of what the game stands on is poorly made. I mean, like I said, there's collision issues. You clip through things. There is, animation problems, like all that kind of stuff. Which is sad because it has the potential to be something like really good.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
But it's like it made me think like, okay, they had like the varsity squad on all of the look of the game. And then they had like their farm league team on the coding.
Fair.
Farm League.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
This game reeks of the horror genre of what I like to call asset flips, where
Yep.
they
Sure.
buy a bunch of very well designed, very beautiful looking levels, and they don't know how to put them together with gameplay. The house you start at in the beginning that you were just showing is a level inside Demonologist, so it's the exact same house.
Really?
Yes, so it's a bot house.
Oh.
And then the woods are a bot asset. The police station later is a bot asset. So these people bought really nice levels that look great, but they didn't make them.
That's why. Okay.
You get to a point later in the game where they don't change much in the environment at all. They just leave ammo boxes sitting on the ground everywhere, just like all over the place. All these ammo boxes that you go up, you have to empty your full clip into the monster to kill one, and then you grab one of these clips, refill, and just it screamed like they don't know how to. They had bought all these beautiful assets, but didn't know how to like put them together and like make them feel good. And my God, the story is so bad and doesn't make any sense. Like once there's a car ride in the beginning where like you find out the person you've been talking to on this dating website that lives across the street from you that you find out is actually your sister, and you didn't know about her, and then it's just so there's so many moments like that are like I don't know what's going on with the story. It's just
What's even weirder about this, and this is the strangest thing about this. Dan nailed it. Huge asset flipping. Story makes no sense. It is terrible. Zeke was talking about the whole thing feels ridiculous. This is published by Versus Evil.
Really? Wow. They're a pretty big
Like
publisher.
they were I followed them on Twitter, and they were trumpeting. Like,
They were pushing it.
Hey,
When I first saw that this was being published by Versus Evil, I was like, this can't be the same game of the demo I played. Because I mean, that was like I had like it was garbage. Like
it was a year ago too. I'm like,
yeah.
I will forgive it. It's probably a lot.
You go to Versus Evil Twitter, their Twitter right now. The first pinned tweet has Stray Souls Games at the very top of it.
You think they were just trying to push it for Halloween?
I don't know what they were trying to do, but all I got to know is that this does not make them look good. Like, I'm not sure what they were thinking with this. I really don't know what they were thinking. And it makes me wonder, like, what kind of quality control is going on at that company? It certainly will make me, like, this game will make me look at everything I see from Versus Evil in the future with kind of like, is this another Stray Souls? You know, like, you kind of got to pick and choose your products when you're publishing them, especially, you know, and this is a big miss for them. Very surprising. Very surprising.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
But as Zeke said, the game has so many moments that had me dying laughing because they were just so awkward and the grandma in the beginning that like peeks over the corner had me dying laughing every time she did
that. Was this game?
Yeah.
I saw you made a TikTok of that or something, right?
Yeah.
I think I didn't know that was this game.
So
oh my god,
funny.
dude. And she didn't even peek. It was just like the model just moved and then moved back with the same expression on its face the whole time. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, I forgot.
So
there was one of the final like confrontations you have. The enemy you're fighting has it's I'm gonna fucking spoil it because I don't give a shit. You're not gonna buy it.
No one's gonna play this game. It's fine.
The final confrontation has 2 phases, and how do you know it has 2 phases? Because you like in my game, you like blast. I also found a spot where I stood somewhere and the enemy stood one other place, and it was the zone of forgetfulness because I just stood there and I was like, pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 I guess. Pow, pow, pow. I just stood there and the boss was like, where's that coming from? And just stood there and took it like a champ. But I knew there was 2 phases in it because the first phase, after you get it down, the monster disappears.
Nice.
No, I'm changing, I'm doing this. Nope, disappears. And then comes through what is seemingly a solid wall to do the second phase of the fight. Which also, if you keep standing in the spot of forgetfulness, they won't attack you. It's great.
Great.
That
Fantastic.
works.
Yeah. Well, that's
No, not Kool-Aid Man. No, guys, not from the Cohh chat. Not Kool-Aid Man. They didn't go, oh yeah, like bust through the wall. It went like, like it just went through the wall. The wall stayed there. It had collision for me.
Oh man. Well, hey, let's. I'll bookend the Stray Soul conversation to talk about another bad game. This is Skull Island: Rise of Kong. My community voted for this on my community day.
Oh God.
This might be the worst game I've ever played. Like, without question, the worst game I've ever played. It is. I spent 2 hours in it. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to actually quit. I could
You
not.
play Gollum.
I finished Gollum. Gollum looks like fucking game of the year compared to this shit. This is like,
Wow.
like Gollum had voice acting and like linear progression and like attempts at puzzles, and even for all of its failures, it was still like somewhat fun at sometimes and laughable. Dude, Skull Island Rise of Kong is like, it's fucking, I don't understand how this game got made. And I truly mean, how did this game get made? It is
Dude,
bad.
I looked it up on Steam. I looked it up on Steam and I thought it was like a remake of an old game
No.
that came to Steam.
This
just
came
now,
out
like
this
in
year.
October.
Yeah.
It's a new release.
Yeah.
And it looks like it just looks bad.
Oh,
I tuned into your stream, JP, when you had just met. Was it him?
yeah. Look,
Cohh
this
or
is the
something?
first sequence in the game. And that's what you see.
Yeah.
That's how the game opens right there. With that fucking.
Are you Kong?
shit. No, you're
Shit.
Kong's mom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
What?
the parents die and you play baby Kong because Gaw, the fucking raptor or something, kills you. Look at the animations. Look at this shit. This game fucking sucks so bad, dude. They give you all this shit, which are like all these different moves, and they go through and tutorialize all of this shit, and then they take it all away from you, and all you can do is jump and attack. And you have to go and... Oh, okay. I'm going to skip ahead in the VOD a little bit. You are now playing as Kong. And see all these enemies here in this game?
Mm-hmm.
They literally give you absolutely nothing. There is zero reason to fight these enemies. And the best course of action is just to run, because the only way to get XP is by finishing these like arena challenges. And that gives you 1 XP. And the first tier of all of your skills is 5 XP. The second tier is 10 XP. And the third and final tier is 15 XP. And there's like 6, maybe 7 different skills that you can dump points into. Every single arena challenge that I did was go kill X amount of enemies or go and kill this like wasp or bird nest or something like that. It is like, it's just a terrible game in all sense of the words. Like there is not one redeeming thing about this game.
So someone in Cohh's chat said the most bizarre is that they were given
Here's the skill tree.
a year to make the game by the publisher.
Yeah.
Who's notorious for publishing shovelware.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's true or not, I went back to the Steam page to look at the publisher. Their fucking name is Game Mill.
That's
Game
great.
Mill Entertainment.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Fucking little on the nose, right?
That's fantastic. Yeah, so you'll notice that map is right there. Let me pause it. And Zeke, I would like to ask you, where do you think I am on this map? Because the game doesn't tell you.
It's the way you said that. Where do you think I'm on
I
the
looked at
menu?
this
On
map
the
and tried to figure out where I was. Don't know.
It's not that big arrow on the left?
Nope.
Nope. Oh God.
What is
That's
that big arrow on the left? Is
Don't
that your
know.
goal?
I don't know.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
I think maybe this
So
is one
bad.
of those like moments where like fucking asshole gamers would be like, well, just look around you. It's like a real map. You actually have to look around you and find out where you are.
Oh, you're right.
Look
Yes.
at the ground. Are you on a road? Then you're on Rumbling Road.
Sorry, my chat is
Okay.
pointing out the arrow is where I started.
Oh, okay. That's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. No fall damage, by the way. Of course not. Things fly. You can pick up these rocks. You could pick up a tree, but if you press any other button, it just drops the tree. There's boss fights in the game.
Is the combat even fun?
Fuck
or
no,
just
it's
button
fucking all.
mashing?
You just press X. You just press X, and that's the combat.
I love how angry this game has made JP.
It's
not like no, the combat's not very fun. Is the combat? No, it's not good.
I mean, I'm not fucking around. It's the worst game I've ever played. I don't understand how this game got made.
And it's priced right. You can get this game for the low price of $40 fucking dollars.
Yeah, that's why I'm upset, because I had to buy this game. And here's the kicker. The minimum for community days in my neck of the woods, 2 hours. Can't refund it. Yeah, can't get a refund for this one. So.
Oh, you got to make an addendum to that.
Yeah, so
that was a silly rule.
I fucked myself on that one. Yeah, that's a way.
You got to put it like 1 hour 55.
I could have gotten two $20 bills, lit them on fire, and had more fun than I did with this fucking game.
Oh my God.
This is one of the arena fights. You got to fight and clear the zone. Those are like little dodo birds. If you pick this
let me ask you, did you get the $50 version, the Rise of Kong Colossal Edition?
I don't know. What do you get in that? Maybe I did. I don't know what the
let's see. You get the Colossal Pack is right here. What do you you get 8 exclusive. Oh man, I'm gonna love reading this. You get 8 exclusive film grain filters.
Gee, they did not charge for that. My God.
Oh,
Is that the one that comes with
pay
motion
homage.
blur filters too?
It's to pay homage to the classic Kong films of 1933 and beyond. 8 Kong style variants. So you can choose your own color scheme for Kong, including an albino white Kong.
Jesus.
You get a boss rush mode. Oh my God, it'll be worth it for this. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking when I say this. You might want to fork over the $10 more because behind the scenes content.
What is that?
No.
What is that though? Like
exclusive to the Colossal Edition of the game, go behind the scenes for a view of the creative process featuring the concept art of Joe DeVito, live recordings and in-game soundtrack, and an inside look at all original score of the game. Oh, okay.
I can imagine it does like an interview with one of the designers. It's like a college student. He's like smoking a doobie. He's like, so I Googled pictures of big apes.
Oh yeah.
And
look at the animation. It's like a CD-ROM. If you would have shown this to me, I would have said this was a CD-ROM from 2002.
No. I need to speak on this. I need to say something about this real quick.
Here we go.
I don't want to interrupt Cohh, but
please.
So this is the skill page. Okay.
Oh dear God.
There are skills, 5 or 6 here. Now you would think,
oh God,
that in each one of these they show a unique CD-ROM style movie. Nope. It's the exact same fucking movie in every single skill. It literally does not do anything. It doesn't show you at all what it's supposed to do. It just exists. This is where chat pointed out to me because I didn't realize it. It's just that. for
There's a
every
Kong
single
chip.
one.
That's all it is. Just twirls
General
around him.
utility tier 1, general offensive tier 1.
Look, it's the same thing for every single one.
Oh my god.
It's
dude.
so bad.
It's
This
so
is
bad.
General finisher.
It's so fucking trash tier
Why are
bad.
there so many different
Wow.
trees?
So those are all the abilities that the game starts you out with when you're playing Kong's mother before she dies to Gore, the Raptor King, or some shit. And then
As one does.
they take you,
Or
they,
some shit.
they take them all away from you. Yeah, they take all the skills away from you. There's a fun thing that if I lose a little bit more HP, the game lets you know that you're low HP by having a heart throb and the rest of the sound drown out, and the screen flashes red. And that doesn't go away. That stays on there until you get HP back. And HP plants are kind of rare. So I had about a 5-minute stretch where the game was just doing that constantly.
Oh no.
Did you get to the JPEG cutscenes? What? No, there's JPEG cutscenes? Now I have to actually see that. I saw the speed run for this. It's 13 minutes long. The final boss...
13 minutes.
Yeah, the final boss, I saw that the guy just stood right outside the bounds and just threw rocks at him. Like 30 rocks, and the final boss died. Pretty bad. Someone link me. I want to see a JPEG cutscene, because that might be the best thing I've seen in the game. I could show you a boss fight, too, if you really want. Here's the boss fight.
If you really want.
The other
you
thing,
really
the other thing
want.
you want
Why
to
would
question, the other thing you want to question the entire time that I was playing this, is the sense of scale. Because Kong is a very large, entity, but the
Right.
game makes him seem like he's a little 3 foot tall creature throughout this whole game. Or this sand pit is a mile wide or some shit.
No, if that were the case, that worm would be like Shai Hulud. It would be
Yeah.
like a fucking
Yeah.
dune worm. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this is the first monster. I think it's just a penis coming out of the ground, but it's like a worm or
Okay.
something that throws
Sandworm?
stuff. Yeah, it's like a sandworm.
No, I honestly, when I saw it, when you first brought it up, I thought it was it's mislabeled. They're talking, you're playing Mighty Joe Young, who was a big gorilla, but was no Kong.
Yeah, yeah. This is I'm sorry, this is not a penis. This is the Earth Gija.
The fur on there is so bad.
Yeah.
It's not moving. It's just like plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's like that kid in your fucking high school who wore too much gel, and his hair was like he spiked.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Exactly. There's me just beating on the boss. I died to the boss in the first attempt because I couldn't figure out. There's 2 phases to each boss, from what I could tell.
Did you try jumping?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you try attacking?
You get stunned right there. So there is a combat
Out of
system
ideas.
when he does that whirlwind, or when there's a little bit of a weird aura around a creature, you can parry at him, and that'll stun the mob, and that's how you generally defeat 90% of the mobs, I could tell. But yeah, it's really bad. I got to see this scene that Chad is talking about. So let me load this up with the JPEG cutscene. Oh, is this the final boss? That is the boss that kills your mother. Oh, so he's having PTSD about when he killed your family. So they show in JPEG.
And they couldn't take the time to render the stones that were flying up out of him. They're just shadows.
They show this to show a memory, I guess. I don't.
It's like a slideshow.
And then Kong's like, "Oh no!"
Oh, man.
Oh, the other best part.
The fuck?
The other best part, if you do the Assassin's Creed thing where you go inside the skeletal structure of their face by getting real close on the wall, the eyes are just 2 eyes that never literally change, and they're always just like this. And the way that they get around this is by doing the skin coloring and making his eyes I don't even know how to describe it. It's fucking awful though. It's really, really bad.
Oh
It's kind of
my
like
God,
Crossland.
dude.
So, yeah, let's go and Rise of Kong. It was a treat.
You know, I would say in the future that maybe we should be on the lookout for games from Games Mill, but I think that if we weren't already, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, that's
JP.
kind of it.
Would you say this game is like worthy of streaming that's so bad it's funny, or it's just so bad that it's
No.
torture to play?
It's torture. I had to
actually
stop
bad.
at 2 hours and 30. Like it,
Oh.
it is. It's Zeke always says the worst thing a game could be is boring, and it's boring, but also awful. Like it's so bad that it's boring, if that makes sense. Like there's no fun to have in the combat of the game because you still have to play the game. Ultimately, is how I would like say.
No,
it.
I honestly am like, I hear you, Dan. Like you want to, like, I get, like, you were the only person on TikTok that was consistently pumping out Gollum videos, and I see that you might want to be the only person on TikTok pumping out Kong videos.
Dude, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens because I definitely went into it with the same idea as Dan's Gollum TikTok extravaganza. But like Dan, you and I both played Gollum. That game actually, for all of its awfulness, it had story, it had cutscenes, it had linear progression, it had.
I mean, if you bought the DLC, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like it had that.
Funny moments.
It had funny moments. It had like, but this game just has none of that. And it also has awful bugs. That I had 2 almost game-breaking bugs where I had to Alt F4. One, I jumped, and when I landed on a diagonal rock, and it didn't. The game. My interpretation of what was happening is that the game didn't understand that I had landed back on a flat plane, and so it thought that I was on the curved thing, and so all I could do was walk backwards. I was going down the plane backwards.
Oh dear God.
And the only way I could do that is by Alt F4ing. And then there was another thing where it locked, like the game just locked up to where everything around me was still happening, but the character just didn't move. And so it was unplayable. And I think that happens a lot throughout the gameplay. This
reminds me of the phase that was very popular where every time they'd have a movie, there'd be a really bad game released with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of that trend. Like someone was trying it again and see how it does. And turned out really bad.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
Yeah. So don't play it. It's bad. Go read some of the reviews, though. Those are pretty funny. IGN gave it a 3 out of 10. A boring, buggy, totally unambitious game that isn't even interesting in its failures. And I think what Phil Hornshaw over at IGN wrote is probably the best way to distill how I feel about that game. Is that it is not even interesting in its failures. So you might want to check it out, Dan, I guess, if you're looking for a trash game for TikTok.
Oh my God. I just came upon the funniest review, and it's yours, JP.
Oh yeah, no, I reviewed the game on Steam.
I was asked to say one nice thing about this game. It's easy to uninstall.
Yeah.
That's
good.
That's good. I'm impressed. That was fucking great.
Yeah. The reviews for that game are pretty fun, to be honest. Do you have some of the other ones open up, Zeke?
Yeah. I hope someday to be as brave as the people who decided to charge 35 pounds for this mess.
That's right.
There is a review that is just, it appears to be ASCII art of a naked person having diarrhea out their butt.
Nice.
That's a real. It's worth 1,000 words, I think. How is this even allowed to be sold?
Yep.
Not even fun playing it as a bit.
Yeah.
I will never. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me see. An insult to gaming.
Oh, dude, this one's great.
I conged
That's a good one.
around. That was one of the negative reviews.
I conged around and found out.
This is a great review here. It says, this is an actual video game, not an SFM meme project that I initially thought it was. Its absurdity rivals a toddler's scribble, making Gollum's video game seem like a masterpiece. This catastrophe appears as if a crack-addled con artist designed it, aimed to scam unsuspecting 5-year-olds. A disaster in every pixel. That's great. That is
This
a
game is
fantastic.
That's
review.
poetry.
Yeah,
That's
that's
poetry
poetry.
right there.
This game is definitive proof that God doesn't exist.
Oh man. So yeah, that's Rise of Kong, Skull Island. It's a thing. It's a thing. Anyways. Hey, what else we've been playing? We got about 20 minutes. About 15 minutes really, then we'll wrap up with 5.
We played that game yesterday before the King 2. That was really fun.
Yeah, that game's really good. I'm glad that we played it yesterday and not on Thursday, because they have patched that game so much after some initial issues. That it was having. I think specifically with the multiplayer is most of the issues. And I want to say, at least I saw Strippin' today, they just straight up turned off the multiplayer because it was having so many issues. I don't know if it's back up, if their like servers are back up or their server infrastructure are back up. It's got mixed on Steam. I don't think it's doing that well in that regard because there are so many issues. But me and Dan, granted, we did a sponsored stream for full disclosure, but we played the game for 2 hours and like, game's awesome. Like, I had a great time with it.
Was Strippin' explaining how that game works? 'Cause it's like hard and it's got a lot of mechanics going on, but it was like really fun. It felt like almost like playing D&D light with like light, just a little bit here, but yeah, it ran well for us and it was like really fun, really tough, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a great time with it. The loot was cool. It seems like there's a massive amount of like unlocks that you can do. I mean, we spent 2 hours with it in like the first chapter, and I don't think we were anywhere at all far, or what I would think we were far. Seemed like there's a lot of game going on here. And I should also say, if you played the first one, it kind of seems like more of that. Like For the King 1, I think had a very rabid and large fan base. And this game seems to be much more built upon that and much more content structured in. Once you can actually get into it. They have been patching the game because it needs the patches. But when we played yesterday, I don't know if it was just because it was working at that particular time or what, but we didn't have a single issue. We had a great time with it. I would not, I would love to go back to this and do like a full playthrough of it because you can't play it single player. It seems like it's very long.
We were playing on a difficulty that was easier than the easiest difficulty, and it was kicking our butts.
Yeah,
like we were having a rough time.
Damn. There's 4 difficulties, and we were on the first one. And he even made it. Strippin' even made it easier by toggling like some of the other settings. So the game can be outright brutal and just kill you in the first couple of fights. But I think the idea is that you want to go and unlock all the other things so that when you start, you have a little bit better of a presence, I guess, in the game world. So it scales, it seems to scale. 4 players is the max, or 4 characters is the max, I should say. We had 3, and the dev said that it scaled down to 3, but not everything in the game scaled, is what Strippin' was saying. But yeah, it seems like a fully fun game, I guess, if you can get in. A lot of the issues, from what I could tell too, was that it was so successful. They weren't counting on selling as many copies as they did initially, and that hurt a lot of the multiplayer stuff, which, you know, I don't know if that's enough of a reason to like give them a break on it, because if you buy a game, you expect it to work regardless of how many copies they sell. But they're definitely like suffering from success in that regard. And yeah, I never played the first one that much. I think me and Zeke and Gassy played it one day.
I was about to say, like, I wonder why I wasn't invited to this co-op. Oh, that's right. I remember why.
Well, we were all sponsored for yesterday. They put it together for us. But yeah, it Cohh, did you ever play this? I know you thought about. Okay,
I haven't played any of them.
yeah. I don't know how long the first one was, but I know it was very well liked, if not also very difficult at the same time. And they had a bunch of post-launch support for it with a bunch of different maps and like campaigns and all that stuff that was added to it, and classes and all that type of stuff. So we'll see. I hope that they keep it patched, and it seems like they're going to. I think they've put out 14 patches between now and Thursday for the game or something like that, trying to get it all working.
Wow.
So they're aware at the bare minimum, which is
it does suck when like the game is fun, but it's just having technical problems that people can't play the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of those where it was very fun. It wasn't, we didn't have anything break when we were playing it. But it seemed like it has a lot of depth to it. Like every class has different abilities that like really work well together. And as a group game, like it felt really good for us, like planning what we're going to do with each of our turns and helping each other. I also love that you can see inside of every character's abilities and inventory. So like every player can see what the other player, like Strippin was explaining to us, like what this ability does, because he could see on my bar what it does and hover over and see what I have in my inventory and stuff. It very clever.
That's
game.
cool.
Yeah. It's good in that regard. So we'll see. I know Strippin continued playing it today, and he was playing multiplayer, so I guess they turned it back on at some point. But I might start like an offline campaign or even a on-stream campaign, depending on how long the actual game is, and continue with it. So that's for the King 2. I didn't have the title up on screen, but it's good. What else?
I have a game that I would like to talk about for 2.5 minutes.
Okay, you told me
I
the
played it on
exact time.
Indie.
Should I time you?
Played it on Indie Saturday, and it was called The Police Mystery.
Okay.
It was the first game of the day. It's the one I chose because sometimes I like to throw my chat a bone and go, you know what? If I put this on the list, this would immediately get voted in because that's how we do it on Indie Day. So I'll just take out the guesswork and I'll just buy it, and that'll be the first game we play. So in this game, you are a tiny cop. You are a very tiny cop that is so small that you can ride flies around the police station. What happened, you might ask?
Oh.
Well, of course, obviously, the old plot of you arrested a witch and she shrunk all the
I like that
male
mountain
police
range you were just by.
I don't know what you're talking about. These are police officers. Show some respect. A witch shrunk all the male police officers and left only the female police officers. And
Zeke,
the object.
Okay.
What?
Oh no.
Nothing. Just
Okay.
talking to pass.
No,
Zeke.
the object of the game. Excuse me, I'm talking about a game, Cohh. The object of the game, of course, is to find the gemstones that the witch hid on all of the bodies of the people inside of the police station, and try not to get eaten, or like so. You will be eaten. But this witch is not very respectful of women's bodies because she hides them like in their shirts, in their pants, in their panties, or by their panties, by their bras and stuff like that. And you have to find all of them because all the gemstones will turn you back into regular sized cops. You do get a radar, as you can see on the bottom right corner, telling you sort of where the gemstones are. You kind of have to fly around until it goes from cold to warm. Then you know you're
JP,
you're pretty close to being in the right place.
God damn it, Zeke,
there
dude.
it is. Gemstone. No, you missed me getting the gemstone. Why would you skip over that? That's me doing well in a video game. But yeah, so you have to you oftentimes you have to crawl up their sleeves.
I'm gonna be in a meeting with Twitch about simulcasting, and they're gonna be like, "So
their
this is what you want to simulcast? This is the content
This is family
that you
friendly,
want."
Cohh. There are no nipples,
Man.
no pubic hair, no nothing. It is family friendly. Just because they are large-breasted and assed women does not make it sexual in nature at all.
I mean, you got a point.
That's it. I think that's my 2.5 minutes.
The wild thing is this is actually better than Rise of Kong.
I was thinking that exact thing. I was like, you know what? I got a game that works that I can talk about. That is actually kind of fun. For how long did I play it? For an hour. I played it for an hour,
Oh
and
my
I had a
God.
blast. It was actually pretty fun.
Jesus.
Oh my
Christ.
lord.
Does it have a very good story?
How's the
Well, like
story?
I told you,
How's the
it's
story and
okay,
characters?
okay. During the police have arrested dangerous criminals from the neighborhood and sent them to jail. During their time in jail, one of them was a witch who casted a spell to shrink many police officers to the size of an ant. The Tinies now need to get a giantess policewoman's attention before it's too late.
Okay.
Too late? What?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what too late. There's no if. There's no then. I mean,
Mm.
they don't
I'm
tell
a
you
sucker
that
for
like
a good
what happens.
story, and that sounded
Yeah.
like a narrative masterpiece.
There did seem to be a lot of plots in just what we saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Oh yeah, there's like this plot goes up and down. It's like it curves. You know, the story curves around all kinds of stuff. And it makes sense because the name of the developer and publisher is RP Game Design.
Ah,
So they are all about the RP.
sure. Yeah.
All about it.
They're
All,
that the
all
dev?
about it.
Is
all,
the publisher
they're
is the
inside
publisher
it.
Game Mill? Is that what?
No, they're self-published, as you might imagine.
Oh, they're self-published.
Ah,
Yeah.
they're looking for the next
Yeah.
big publisher. Yeah.
And at the low price of $17, like I think
$17.
Wow. Is that on sale?
I don't know. No, it's not on sale. There's no off. It's
Oh.
$17 straight up.
Okay.
And I don't know how many hours are in the game, but I mean, if it has like a 40 hours of gameplay, like that might be,
I'm gonna be
Justifiable
blunt. That looked just from the little bit I saw, that looked like it could be endless gameplay in the right situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like a good MMO by yourself.
Did you
Yeah.
feel
Oh, yeah.
satisfied after playing it, Zeke?
I felt like I needed a cigarette, so yes. I'm
Did you
gonna
get
say
to the
yes.
ending? Was it happy?
I got in an ending.
Hmm.
Literally, I'm not kidding. I'm so glad you said that, Cohh. Because
Thank you.
did I get an ending? Yes, I got an ending. And that ending was I was sat on by a giantess police officer. I literally
All
got
right.
to her ending.
There you go.
Okay. You
Fair
got
enough.
an ending from her end.
Fair
It was
enough.
a double ending.
Fair enough.
It was actually a thing. Like they have these little blue bubbles where it's like quest start. So you quest start and you're talking to her, you're like, hey, you're trying to like talk to her on a walkie-talkie, but there's bad reception or something. So like, hey, Laura, don't sit down. And she's like, what? Sit down? And then the clock starts. It's like, get out of the way. So you're like, oh. But of course, the first time I did it, I'm like, I accept this death. This is how I've always wanted to die. I'm good with this. I've made myself right with Jesus. Let's go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Zeke's perfect ending.
Yeah. I won't spend too long on
It
this.
reminded me of that Monty Python sketch where like the guy gets to choose how he dies, and he's just chased by topless women.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. I won't spend too long on this, but any chance I can talk about Final Fantasy 14, I take it. They did a Fall Guys crossover. This is in Final
Whoa.
Fantasy. It's pretty wild. Like it's straight up Fall Guys, and you play a Final Fantasy character running Fall Guys levels, and it goes about what you would expect. It's
But
actually
there's no bouncing off other people?
no, there's no collision between the two
Oh.
characters. You also can't grab. But it's got all the other things that you would want.
See, I
in
thought
Fall
it
Guys.
was Final Fantasy in Fall Guys. I didn't realize it was Fall Guys in Final Fantasy.
Yes, yeah,
That's
that's
hilarious.
the appropriate way to say it. It's Fall Guys in Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's in the gold saucer. So if you've seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so we did a charity stream yesterday with Extra Life and
Oh wait, it's both. Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess it
So
is
it's all-
both. Yeah, because Final Fantasy 14 did have, or sorry, Fall Guys did have Final Fantasy 14 in it. There were skins in there of Alizé and yeah, all. It's a thing. Anyways, it's way more fun than it should be. That's how I would describe it. So we did this for 3 hours yesterday. I was playing with myself and Jessica Cox, and we had a great time. Even though
Ooh.
I never won. It's kind of funny how much this is like a prepare for hardcore rating mini game because it really does do all the things that you would expect to happen in like a hardcore rating situation. And every single person that wins is someone that has the insane titles that you would expect like hardcore raiders to have. And there is an achievement for winning 100 times in the game, which I thought was pretty funny. That people have already
100 times.
Yeah, that people have
Wow.
already gotten. So, yeah. Yeah.
The
So
devs on this game are so good and so clever at what they do.
it's a brilliant crossover. Yeah. Yeah.
They push the edge of what an MMO can be all the time. This is
it's
insane.
crazy. It really is. It honestly is wild. And they have Fall Guys outfits in Final Fantasy that you can get from this. It's as absurd as you would think. And so that's pretty cool too. But yeah, we did that yesterday for a charity stream. So was good fun. Was had. And I think that's where we could wrap up the show. We can call it. So we get out of here for once on time. So Zeke's not late to his next show.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, works out. Let's do some shout outs then. Zeke, why don't we start us off? You can go a little early.
Sounds good. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Dan, for showing up. Good to see you as always. Thank you, JP and Cohh, for being my co-host every week. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also find me at Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out because they don't allow underscores on Instagram and TikTok. Ezekiel the Third. I will be right after this. I'm going over to twitch.tv/tablestory for our Blade Runner tabletop role playing session that we had 2 weeks off. So it'll be fun to get back into that. And if you want to catch me streaming, I take Mondays off, so I'm off tomorrow. But on Tuesday, I will be continuing, maybe / finishing Alan Wake 2. And 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern is my start time, usually every day, save Monday. So thanks for watching.
Fantastic. Dan, thanks for coming on the show this week. Do some shout outs.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure interacting with JP, Cohh, and Zeke. You guys are amazing. It's always an honor to be on the show. I'm Dan's Gaming. I'm now simulcasting on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Wherever you want to watch me, just Dan's Gaming on all platforms. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm currently playing through RoboCop and catching up on some games that I didn't get to finish during Horror Month. So I have to do Assassin's Creed and Lords of the Fallen. I got to finish a few of those. So this is catch-up month. We're catching up on games. But thanks for having me on the show, and it's always a pleasure.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here. Cohh, what do you got going on?
Absolutely. Well, as always, big thank you to JP and Zeke. And of course, a very special thank you to Dan's Gaming. It is always a brighter show with him on board. My name is Cohh. Hi, tomorrow morning we are starting My Time at Sandrock. We're going to see how this game is. It is the follow-up to Portia. See how good it is. Hopefully it's a lot better. Tomorrow afternoon, we're also checking out a game called The Invincible, which we did a little early look at a few days ago. We're going to continue that playthrough tomorrow afternoon. This evening and tomorrow evening, we'll probably do more Spider-Man. We also have the Cyberpunk game coming up. We're going to be exploring another ending there. We've got, we've got Yakuza coming up as well. We've got a lot of other games in the pipeline, probably, Cyber Runner, whatever that game is. We're going to be checking that out. There's a lot of games this month and a lot of catch-up to do, like Dan was saying. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Hope to see you there. I'll be on Twitch if you need me. just Twitch. And Ghost Runner 2, thank you. And I hope to see you guys in the channel. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic. That will do it for Old Drop Frames. We'll have the VOD up, youtube.com/itmeJP. where you can also find me simulcasting, unlike Cohh. Where I'm just gonna ride this joke into the ground for the next couple of months. It's the one thing I got, Cohh. It's the one
I
thing
would
I
do the
got.
same, dude. I would do the same. You have no idea. Like,
Oh, I do.
somebody-
That's why I do it so much.
as somebody who wants so much to be like there's so many interesting things to explore with the simulcasting stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
nope,
Yeah.
nope, not right now.
Yeah.
So
It's a thing. It's a
Yeah.
thing. Anyways, we're out of here. Starting next week, we should be recording drop frames locally in 4K, which we don't put out 4K images, but 1080p shrunk down like this will actually look a lot better if it's recorded in 4K.
you'll be able to
So,
see our pores.
yeah, we're gonna have to start wearing makeup. I think
Yeah.
I was talking with Maximilian, dude. That's the next stage. If we all get 4K cameras, we're gonna have to wear makeup. Or
No.
it's not gonna work out.
I
for
will
us.
never use a 4K camera. No one needs to see that.
It's not gonna work out for us. Or we're all gonna become VTubers. They got something going on.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
with
We
that.
can
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah,
I've frequently thought about being a cat girl.
that's true. We could all become cat girls. We could use those avatars from Zeke's game that he played about the policeman.
There we go.
Be
I want to
great.
be a Gundam. I'll be a Gundam.
Oh, you might be on
Ooh,
something.
Robo
there.
Dan.
Robo
Yeah.
Dan, yeah. Gundam Dan. That'd be cool. All right. Anyways, thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week where we'll be talking more news, games, and the life of a streamer. We're out of here for now. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.